This week we have rather interesting information to share with you and a very, very controversial figure. His name is Vladimir Terziski, and he is here joining us to impart on us an awful lot of information. You have brought on pictures. Could you please tell us about these pictures and what they actually are telling us?
I've been doing research on Nazi UFOs, on the 50 or more basically different models of craft that the Germans built before and during the Second World War, powered by every engine that was in production in Germany at that time, by piston engines, Wankel engines, turbojet engines, ramjet, pulse jets, rocket engines, and the final and most advanced models were powered by electromagnetic drives. These are the most, basically no moving part drives. But in order to convince someone that this massive research and development conspiracy, let's call it, and this secret space program run by the Germans has been on for all these years. Actually, the persistent rumors are that the Germans landed on the moon and Mars before the war ended. I even think that I have a documentary footage of the first joint landing on Mars. The film says that it was made in '62. I have a suspicion that it was way back in '52.
Way back.
A saucer landing by the two superpowers.
Thank you very much.
Can you guys hear me now? God's sake. This is the problem when I use new software and I have no idea how to do it. So can we just double check, guys? Yes. Oh my God. All right. Fuck it out. Yeah, I am using this new software is to make the audio sound better. It's like Audio Banana or something. It's a free software. It works on my end, but I have no idea how it comes out on StreamYard, which is, I tell you what, I'm not going to use it because I had problems with Hidden's show. But anyway, yes, welcome back to everyone. It's Alien Addict. The show we've discussed all things UFOs and aliens to the paranormal. and our pursuit into the mysteries are then explained. I guarantee Lee is going to go, what the hell is going on in this one? Because he's the one that edits the the podcast to put on Spotify. But oh man, I tell you what I was going to do. I'm going to update the microphone to something more professional, so it sounds better quality, because the sound is most important, really. So I need like a mixer and everything. So that's the next step. That's the next step. But apologies, guys. At least that's sounding clear. We're all sounding good, yeah? We're all coming through fine. I think I'm all good. All sound check, all good. But yeah, let's go through chat. She pop up. Nice to see you. Darkest Gunner. Welcome on in, man. John Stokes. Rotary Matrix. Rebecca. Science Fringe. Mark Jeffries. Colbell's Cat. What else have we got in there? I think that's everyone. Hey, Nathan from the Quantum Show. Yeah, I know, man. Oh. It was bound to happen at some point, Nathan. But welcome on in, man. Hope you're having a good week. I think that's everyone. I think that is everyone. Steve Gardner. How's it going, man? Hey, from XX England. Yeah, how's it going, man? I'm actually popping up near you sometime. Actually, no, going to Liverpool. Is that near you? In Essex? Not too sure. But anyway, yeah, I'm popping up north at some point. It's for like this gaming convention. It's all to do with the missus. No idea. But welcome on in, man. Welcome on in. So, just to sort of go things through, right? Just really, really quickly before getting to Vlad. These right here. Okay. I have no idea about geography, mate. Yeah, you're probably like a complete opposite direction. I have the internet. I could just Googled it, couldn't I? But bloody typical me, man. But yeah, this has been popping up in our lawn, right? This is called wild orchids. They're a protected species, and sorry, I don't mean to bore you. I'll be really, really quickly. But yeah, and they're beautiful, isn't it? Like tiny little orchids. Look, little flowers on it. So I've been saving them. When I cut the lawn, I put these bamboo sticks in, and I preserve much as I can. Yeah, these are my petunias. Look at that. You never find a jet black petunia. Isn't that awesome, man? Yeah, like cosmic sort of crazy things. Yeah, I don't want to bore you. That's my cat. He's sweet, chilling with me today. Oh yeah. Obviously, keeping the eyes to the sky. So if you've been paying attention to Cosmic Twilight, trying to think my YouTube channel. Then, yeah, the Cosmic Twilight. You'd be seeing I've been uploading videos on basically the trails in the sky and really tracking really what they do and everything. Oh yeah, I'll just go back to the other flowers. Yeah, that reminds me of the circus. These all petunias I've got. Dianthus right there. But yeah, one thing I did notice, right, is obviously with the skies is going a bit quite rampant. I know people kind of get a bit bored when you talk about clouds and all that stuff, but I kind of make things a bit educational. I kind of bring up the books and I go to like what the chemtrail community is saying, and I try to get like an overall conclusion. And so I've just been doing like an analysis, trying to get things in a more realistic perspective instead of just like jump into like everything's like man-made on purpose. You know, for instance, I see a lot of this on Chemtrail Facebook page. This is done by chemtrails, and to be honest with you, I have barely seen anything today. That's a big cirrus cloud, by the way. But yeah, look at the halo. This is called a 22-degree halo, believe it or not. Sorry to bore the hell out of you, but oh yeah, check this out. Yeah, so a client. Right. I just had a client, right? She says, "Oh, it's raining tomorrow. Do you want to hold off? Would you mind coming in on Sunday?" And I thought, seriously, a Sunday, working on a Sunday? It's like, how dare you? I didn't reply back. I thought, do you know what? No, just leave it. Message her in the morning. But anyway, this is one of my clients. Look how messy it is. Then 3, 2, 1, boom. Look at that. Neat and tidy, mate. That's what I do for a living, mate. The people on Spotify have no idea. Just imagine like a crappy hedge and then turn into an amazing hedge, isn't it? Everyone says I've got a really good eye. I'll get to chat in a minute. Don't worry, guys. I'm not ignoring you. So, one of the biggest things I've wanted to see for a very, very long time. Yes, don't worry, man. We'll get to Vlad really, really quick. I'll just get really, really quickly out of the way. But yeah, welcome on in. Nino. Oh my God, I'm going to butcher your last name. Just going to call you Nino. Welcome on in, brother or sister. So yeah, this is what one thing I absolutely love is steam. I love the industrial age, like the 1920s, that sort of during that period. And I love steam trains. So last Saturday, me and my best mate, Simon, who's been my best mate since like primary school, we said, right, let's go to Didcot, as you got the Flying Scotsman. So the people that don't know, this is the only train in existence. It's called the Flying Scotsman. It's made a continuous travel from like Scotland to London in one go. And I tell you what, the place was packed, absolutely packed. It was unbelievable. And I'm not joking, right? Sorry to bore the people, but I'll be really, really quickly. I just want to show something. Is it uploaded yet? Yeah, I hope so. Because I love a bit of steam. Hold on. And what was fascinating about this day, that I couldn't believe how many people were there, all walks of life. Doesn't matter what age you were, what color you were. People were there to see this steam train. Like I said, it's the only one in existence. And I tell you what, they had it ready, and then suddenly they started moving it to collect the carriage. You can hear a pin drop. It was just like one of those surreal moments. And this is a video I'd taken. Yeah, you might find it boring. Who cares? It was so loud. That's the world's most famous train. It is beautiful. And it's a piece. Yeah, you're probably thinking, get to Vladimir and UFOs. All right, okay. But I tell you what, I've always wanted to see the Flying Scotsman, and I managed to actually actually see it. Well, we did find it, all thanks to my mate who absolutely loves steam trains. So yeah, it was truly amazing, honestly. And I couldn't believe how many people were there. It was fucking packed. And do you know what the icing on the cake was, mate? Ladies and gentlemen, do you want the icing on the cake? I got a fucking £60 parking ticket. Bastard. Because the bloody app didn't work. And I thought, well, we've been to Didcot before, not to see the Flying Scotsman. I thought, I'll risk it, because we've got away with it before. And fucking finished. It was a great day. I was like, yes, Simon, let's go here. And then fucking that yellow sticker on your windscreen. And you know it's going to fucking cost you. It said £100, but if you pay it within like 14 days, it goes down to like £60. I was like, fuck's sake, like real pissed me off. That's me being an idiot. You know, everyone has internet. So I blame myself on that one. So, but yeah, it was a good day overall. Good day. So today is all about Rebecca. My old friend was train spotting and would het on all the delicts, etc. I'm sorry, I 420 hard before the show because I knew I couldn't smoke, so I do apologize. Yeah, for the new listeners and watchers, I'm a really crap reader, so I shall slow things down. Yes, John. Oh, John Scott, how's it going, man? Yes, beautiful piece of engineering. Yeah, you can bloody hear that thing rumble coming past. It's like a solid block of steel. It's amazing how something that weighs absolute tons can actually move itself plus carriages. Absolutely amazing. But that is the world's most famous train. Don't call it a train. You got to call it a locomotive, because the train drivers will get really mad if you call it a train. But yeah, so today it's all about Vladimir Terziski. And it's not really known in the UFO community because he's gone missing. And a lot of his videos, have to admit, are quite rare. I've been trying to find his VHS tapes, which has been available on eBay, but it's like 150 quid for something that is already on YouTube itself. And look, you're going to get a lot of scammers. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of my old videotapes, I reckon somebody's actually done a copy, put it on a new tape, put the stickers and everything like that, and actually sold it as something old when it's actually new. And I'm pretty sure I've got a few of those in my collection somewhere. So I think you've got to be really careful. But with Vlad, he was more or less like the springboard to my research. Let's bring up some Vladimir Terziski. Where is he too? Because it's all about videos today. Because I am... There's only so much I can do on Vladimir, because yes, he deals with a lot of what I'm dealing with flying saucers, German flying saucers, Nazi flying saucers. He was more or less like the springboard to my research. So what I'm going to do, let's bring up a photo of Vlad, and then we can show some videos of him, because he's got some interesting things to say. Because bear in mind, this was like the early 90s. So here's a picture of Vladimir Terziski. Let's put a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, notes. Where is notes? Okay, so Vladimir Terziski. Who is Vladimir? For the people that don't know, I'm going to talk to you about it. Right. Okie dokie. Notes. Right. So Vladimir was a Bulgarian. Yeah, I put things into scripts, and I kind of used AI to help me out with this because I've got to sound professional, which requires me to read. So I'm going to balls this up at some point. So Vladimir Terziski is a Bulgarian-born physicist and engineer known for promoting controversial and fringe theories related to UFOs, secret Nazi technology, and extraterrestrials' involvement in human history. He claims often associated with alternative history movements. He has been widely criticized and dismissed by mainstream scholars and scientists. So background and education. Terziski claims to have a degree come. Well, it actually says come for some odd reason. I think that's a typo there. So he has a master's degree in science from Torio University in Tokyo in 1980. He also asserts that he's served a solar. Yes, he believes he claims to work for like a solar energy research program in Bulgaria Academy of Science before immigrating to the United States in 1984. So around about in the early 90s, this is where Vladimir Terziski started to hit the UFO conferences. Basically, because bear in mind, guys, this was before the internet. Internet came out in 1995. It is nowhere as what it is today. So everyone like me and you back in the day would have been hitting up these conferences. So me and you have been watching this in chat. We probably would have meeting up in conferences like at some point, down the line. So yes, he immigrated to the United States in 1984. He is reported to be fluent in multiple languages, including English, Japanese, Russian, German, Bulgarian, which he suggests aids his research. Now, controversial theories is where it gets a bit spooky. So Terziski is perhaps best known for his assertion regarding Nazi Germany allegedly developing an advanced technology during World War II. He claims that the Nazis, whatever you want to call it, developed flying saucer technology and established secret bases on the moon and Antarctica. According to Terziski, these bases were used for experimental mind control, genetics, and hybridization. God, I can't believe I'm reading this all the way through. Often with the association of extraterrestrial beings. Screwed that up already. He also suggests that the joint Japanese crew utilizing advanced free energy technology landed on Mars in 1946. See, these are where the claims start to come in. Terziski further persists that the secret American-Russian space program discovered these Nazi bases on the moon before Apollo mission. So reception and skepticism. So mainstream historians, scientists, and skeptics widely dismiss Terziski theories as pseudoscientific and lack of credible evidence. Yeah, I kind of would agree with that. His work is often associated with conspiracy theory circles. Ooh, that's that word again, and is not considered credible by the academic community. Wow, I can't believe I read that all the way through. Legacy, right, last one. Whilst Terziski's theories have not been gained acceptance in mainstream science or history, they continue to be circulated within certain fringe communities interested in UFOs, secret technologies, and alternative histories. How dare you put me in that sort of category? His work serves as an example for conspiracy theorists can intertwine with history events, often without sustained evidence, bastard of a word. In summary, Vladimir Terziski is a figure known for promoting fringe theories about Nazi technologies, extraterrestrials' involvements, theories that widely reject the mainstream scholars and scientists. There we go, my friend. There we go. So that is pretty much Vlad in a nutshell. And I did have a bit of other things to help me on that one. AI has been great. You see what I mean? To put it in perspective, it's not me going, who is Vladimir Terziski, because I know who he is, but it's actually pretty good to get things like sounding like professional. I tell you what, going to think about it, if we were all teenagers in school, what are the chances we were using AI to do our homework? I mean, think about it. You'd have to do fuck all. You just have to put it through AI. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that useful tool, but kind of a bad to a certain degree. Oh, is that a link, Rotary? Hold on. Oh, am I going to copy that? Is it time right? No, I don't. I right click, all the bad stuff comes up. Okay. All right, Rotary. I'll see what I can do. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. That's fine, Rotary. Okay. Cool. So yeah, with Vlad. Oh, that's fine. Sound, brother. Sound. So yeah, with Vlad, this is an interesting one. Okay. So I've got loads of videos to show. I'm gonna show it in segments. But I need to bear in mind something. So where Vlad started to come out in 1990, it was like 1991, he came on the circuit. And at that time, hold on. This is quite important. If I can get this out without damaging anything. Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. Hold on. Oh, gotcha. All right, lovely. Right, so this is quite important to show. All right. You know me in research. So at the time, Vlad. Okay, solid. At the time, in 1991, he was doing the circuits. And onwards, he came into the awareness of the people that wrote this book. Okay. Everything to do with Haunebu, real flying saucers, Maria Orsic, the Vril Society, all that, and even Aldebaran and all that, all links to this. This is where it all starts, guys. And not a lot of people know this. Okay. Took me 15 years to get this book. All right. This is called the Vril Project. And Vlad touches on this, but he touches upon the people that wrote the book. I'm trying to get in contact with the two authors. It's one of them is called Norbert Jorgen Rathofer, and the other author is called Ralph Ettel. And Ralph Ettel made another book in 2000 and probably, I think it's like 1999 called Z Plan. So he's still writing books, but I cannot get hold of him because he's the one that's got the original photographs, which is basically I've got a typical example here. Yeah, like he's the one that has all the original Haunebu real photographs, you know, the ones that are like flying through the air and stuff like that. Yeah, like the Haunebu, like that sort of stuff. This is where it all spans from. So it would be good to get some clarification on where these photographs come from because I want to see it in the flesh. I want to see these blueprints on A3 paper. I don't want to see it in, like, here's a typical example. It's what we can call it. It's like grainy stuff like that. I don't know if you can see that, guys. That craft there. You know, it's grainy, it's crap. You know, I need to see the whole thing in fruition. In originality, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is what I mean. You get a lot of this. Right, this is to do with the Haunebu Vril. That's apparently the original document. Okay, apparently. And sketches and all that, but I would like to see the original thing and not, you know, put on an A3 piece of paper in a crap way. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, me continuing on Vlad. So he does mention upon this, but he mentions upon the people that wrote the book, which I'm still trying to maybe find, which gets quite interesting because it mentions some documentaries as well. And it's a bit of a ride, really, because a lot of my research began from Vladimir. Like I said, he was like my springboard to really understand the beginning of the German flying saucer program, which was obviously the turbine-driven aircraft that I talked about in the first part. Nazi flying saucer. It was Nazi UFOs Part 1. I think I talked to Def on that one, and Part 2 as well. So let's bring up the first video. And I will get to chat, guys. I'm gonna play some videos, and I'll get to chat. Let's bring up this one first. Yeah. I say it's going to be an hour and a half. I think it's going to be more than that. It's bloody point. So anything to do with Vladimir Terziski, save it. Because one thing I should have mentioned, he is gone. He is gone from 12 feet tall. How's it going, man? Welcome on in. Hey, hangs tight. Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. So yeah, in terms of where has Vlad been since, no one knows. No one flipping knows. He is gone from existence. I don't know. Do you reckon, Rebecca? I don't know, because he's just vanished, gone without a trace. He sort of left the circuit. I think the last interview was from 2001, straight after 9/11. And then, boom, nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anybody in chat knows anything about it, I'll probably put it through AI. I might be able to find something on there. And, hey, how's it going? Oh, my God, I'm just going to call you Productions. How's it going, man? My plenty of reading's terrible. Yeah, how's it going? Welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in. So, yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. So anything to do with Vlad, save it. Save it. Let's do this. So this is called The Cosmic Egg in 1993. Oh, back in the day. Give me a time travel device. I'll definitely hit up that date. 100%. By the way, if you want to hear some cheesy music, like some like early 90s music, you're in for a treat, brother. Hold on.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Cosmic Egg. And as you know, this show is not timid about bringing on controversial issues. This week we have rather interesting information to share with you and a very, very controversial figure. His name is Vladimir Terziski, and he is here joining us to impart on us an awful lot of information. So Vladimir, welcome, and I'm very glad that you managed to make it.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Now, Vladimir, I've looked at your credits and I'm terribly impressed. In fact, looking at what you've done in terms of education, I'm really surprised. Here you have a Bachelor of Science in Physics, you have a Master of Science in Electronics, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You have brought on to me an awful lot of information about about Nazi Germany and the technology that they had in the 40s. Now, I am absolutely astounded by the information that you have to share with us. You have brought on pictures. Could you please tell us about these pictures and what they actually are telling us?
Well, in one sentence, while researching UFOs in general and the terrestrial component of the alien presence in particular, namely secret terrestrial programs that have been dealing with anti-gravity and secret space programs for the last almost 100 years, I realized that a lot of these secret projects are covered up behind the alien smokescreen, and later on laundered to the general public as an alien technology gift to us. And in order to pull the carpet from under the feet of the government, or let's call it the party line American ufology, I've been doing research on Nazi UFOs, on the 50 or more basically different models of crap that the Germans built before and during the Second World War, powered by every engine that was in production in Germany at that time, by piston engines, Wankel engines, turbojet engines, ramjet, pulse jets, rocket engines, and the final and most advanced models were powered by electromagneto-gravitic drives. These are the most basically no moving part drives. But
I'm still trying to figure out your name. Oh my God, I'm not.
In order to convince someone that this massive research and development conspiracy, let's call it, and this secret space program run by the Germans has been on for all these years. Actually, the persistent rumors are that the Germans landed on the moon and Mars before the war ended.
It's wacky ideas, I know.
And later they were followed by many other secret programs, but we will talk about.
Okay, what I'm going to skip ahead on a few things, okay? Especially the photographs when he goes through the German flying saucers. Let's do this.
Flying saucer effort. I have some photographs that were extremely rare to find. Many of these were pulled out of German libraries by our research associates and friends. Most of them are impossible to find in the United States. The third model that we talked about is a very interesting photograph.
Agony Productions.
Done in 1952 over Mount Rainier in Washington State.
Oh,
and in my opinion, this is a flying Kugelblitz or ball lightning automatic anti-aircraft weapons platform that was captured by the Americans and test flown secretly from bases in the western United States and northwestern Canada. Later on, through German sources, we have discovered not only turbojet-powered craft, but these are rocket-powered craft with rocket engines of the V2 type.
Okay, so what he's describing here is what I was talking about in the UFO, Nazi UFO Part 1, the turbine-driven aircraft and the jet-propelled aircraft. These were the flying discs of World War II. So this is where I got a lot of my books from this guy as almost like a source for me to start. I needed to start somewhere. And Vlad brought out a lot of books. He collected a lot of it. He said some of them are rare. I would have to admit, one of them is called... basically this, which I don't really see that. Does he bring it up actually? I think he might bring it up in at some point. Yeah, but this is what he recommended to read, which was to do with Foo Fighters, which is that one now. Which I'm pretty sure he gets to at some point.
And the subsequent model of Mite, these two craft had an exoatmospheric capability, and they could easily go in orbit around the Earth. This is a very interesting drawing.
Yeah, sorry for pausing, but you understand like the sort of wild claims he's putting forward. These turbine-driven aircraft, they can actually go into space. I kind of doubt that very much. So it takes Vlad claims as like what we call it, like trust me, bros. So, yeah.
Of a saucer-type dreadnought, a 60-yard diameter. This is about 200 feet diameter, interplanetary craft that has huge sleeping compartments. It is basically 10 stories tall. Drawings were published in Germany by a little secret society there.
What would have been the purpose of that Retriever flying disc here?
It had definitely an interplanetary objective, because a flying saucer that can circle the Earth in 1.5 hours does not need sleeping compartments. You don't have to sleep between your during your flight.
Yeah, that's a good point. With that one, rotary, I noticed that the fact that if you got a really good enough spin, it's technically like a gyroscope. What you're saying there, so I don't know how the craft was built. Would it be able to retain the sort of the air pressures and everything? I don't know. Let's ask Bob Lazar. You're an expert in this one, brother. How's it going, man? Welcome on in. I don't know. I understand that gyro spin in motion because everything is to do with rotation here. That could have the potential. Obviously, will have the lift. But from what I read, from apparently rumors of this craft being tested, obviously this one, what we're talking about here, obviously the rotation around the cockpit, is that it became quite unstable and it vibrated a lot. Look, it's a speculation to say, look, they could have actually made more advancements after the first model, like the second model and the third one. It's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. So, yeah, I mean, I would say don't knock the turbulence. It's a gyro balance. But for sure, man, for sure.
Basically, the longest distance you can travel around the planet is 1-2 hours at the most.
Right.
So obviously sleeping compartments on such a massive scale would be needed only for a craft that would land on the moon, that would stay there for a long time and come back.
So you're actually saying that the Germans pre-World War II were refining the technology in order to actually travel to a different planet.
Exactly. These two models are capable of going in orbit around the Earth and probably going in an extended elliptical orbit toward the moon. This huge craft is capable of getting into orbit around the moon and landing on the planet. And these were actually the most primitive of the models that the Germans built.
So this is where he gets into the Hauenboom Vril. This is the anti-gravity side where he's going to get into now, okay? This is where it gets quite new to the news of the book I just showed you, which is this. Oh my God, sorry, burped. This one here, okay? Because this was at this time period, 1993, you had a videotape called UFO Secrets of the Third Reich, which I don't have 5 copies of, by the way. And that is like one of the first documentaries that came out, and it was about this time period. And this was, in fact, you can find it on my Cosmic Twilight YouTube channel. You can find, excuse me, you can find all the German Nazi UFO documentaries on there, literally everything. So, yeah, let's get into it.
2 months ago, I received, through some private channels, a secret documentary film made by the German secret society, the Thule Gesellschaft, something like an equivalent of the Illuminati society here.
Okay, right. This is quite important to mention. He was saying about the Thule Gesellschaft. I think he's not saying the right word, because the people that wrote this book, what he's going to be talking about is called the Tempelhof Gesellschaft. And this was an organization that happened, it was basically set up in Venice, in Italy. And this is where this book was written. So he's sort of alluding to an organization, which basically this is where the publication came from. It came from an organization called the Tempelhof Gesellschaft, which was, I don't know if the existence of the society is actually real. This is why I need to contact the actual, the people that wrote this book. But you could say in one way, don't know if this is true, but to sort of glorify or sympathize with the Nazi philosophy. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the truth, but it seems to allude that way. I mean, read. I could say the name. A bit like a Marina Serene sort of moment. You know? Do you know what I mean? You know, that sort of glorification. Not saying that's like the thing here, but this is. I think that is what he's talking about, because the Thule Gesellschaft is the Thule Society, which is a different society that happened back in the early 20s. No, 1919 it started. But what he's talking about here is that. Okay, this is the German VHS tape you can see here in all its glory, and this is called, oh my God, what is it called? It's in German here. It's called UFO'S, The Third Reich Strikes Back. You can find it on my YouTube channel, The Cosmic Twilight, and it's the original documentary in German, which is this one here, which is quite rare to get, to be honest with you. And this is what he's talking about, which was released at that time, which was still quite something, because it brought up a lot of the photographs you're about to see here. Sorry, I'm rambling a lot, guys. Why am I on? Go away, Nick. Get out of here. There we go.
The title of this documentary, 2-hour documentary film, is UFO'S, The Third Reich Strikes Back. This is the emblem of this secret society. They were basically the ideologues of the Third Reich. Talking too much about Germany, I would not like the discussion to be considered as an apology of the German success. What the Germans did to millions of hapless victims in World War II. I mean, they earned enough karma from themselves to last them for this and many subsequent lifetimes to come, for these of us that believe in karma. But once these things invented, They were shared later by the superpowers. They cannot be disinvented, to use Daniel Bell's interesting
One thought
expression.
keeps coming back to me, and that is almost world supremacy. I'm looking at this and I'm going, what's the incentive? What's the reasoning behind trying to refine such technology?
Well, it gives man an ability to go to the moon, to explore the planets of the solar system, to go beyond the solar system. Some of these larger craft were definitely able to go beyond the solar system, as we shall see very soon. The first row of photographs, actually this is a very small part, this is maybe a third of all the documentary photographs shown in the German documentary video. These are interceptor fighter craft of the Vril series that have never been written about in any other source in the world literature so far. They were about 30 feet in diameter and extremely maneuverable. Their speed was almost 3 times the speed of sound. For them, Allied bombers and fighters were basically sitting ducks. Renato Vesco, in his book, depicts about 3 attacks of flying saucers on Allied bomber formations with devastating consequences. And these all were attacks of the previous and more primitive craft. These craft were developed in the very last years of the war, 44, 45. This subsequent line here are the 25-meter diameter, which is about 75-meter diameter, 30 feet tall tank killers.
Hey, Sagipo.
The craft of the Honeybull type.
Welcome on in.
We've never seen before UFOs with tank turrets attached underneath.
Oh, yeah.
We see different models of tank turrets. Actually, these are standard.
Right, I'm going to pause there. Right, the tank turret. This is what really baffled me, right? Okay. You're dealing with a tachyon drive, anti-gravity drive, okay? These were basically what you describe in the book here is that these were inside the craft itself was a cylindrical ball that almost had like a gyroscope inside, and the gyroscope would spin, and this is what would create the anti-gravity for the Haunebu for it to lift. But if we're going by, you can see where my cursor is, the Haunebu with the gun turret underneath. Now, these are Panther tank turrets, allegedly. Not saying they're lasers. These are actually Panther tank turrets. How the hell would they actually be able to reload these things upside down? Do you know what I mean? Does the tachyon drive energy field disrupt the ammunition in the craft? I don't know. And also, where is the bloody picture of these on the ground? There is one, but obviously it's quite fake. This is it. It's what Vlad has done here. And look, this is 1993 when he's done this. He's basically taken all the photographs here from the documentary itself. I mean, I don't think he's got the original photographs. This is it. I like to see, or at least a copy of it, the colored version of it, and not having crappy, shitty, blurry photographs. Even though these look pretty damn good, I'm still quite skeptical because, like I said, the most common question I ask myself: if the Germans developed this in the early 40s, why didn't they use it? If they had 5 models, like Science Evidence Fringe was saying, the interplanetary travel, interstellar travel, if they can have that capability, which we'll talk about the Andromeda machine in a minute, why didn't they use it? There would have been sightings. Now, granted, there are sightings from prisoners of war that immigrated to America in the 1950s, stated that they did see some sort of flying disc, and they mentioned flying disc and flying saucer, but it could have been these turbine-driven aircraft and not necessarily anti-gravity. This is it. Anti-German Nazi flying saucers, anti-gravity flying saucers, the Haunebu Vril, did not make an appearance until 1991. Which is where the book came out, and this is where the documentaries came out, and this is where he's getting his photographs from. Obviously, this is 2 years later. So I just want to make that clarification. No, I've literally traced back through all my old publications. There was no mention of Haunebu, Vril flying saucers, Maria Orsic, and the Vril Society. Yes, there was, but that's a whole episode on itself. Sorry for
lingering so much from chatting, but they just got to make some like pointing questions and say, look, this doesn't really make sense. They would have used this technology if it was available at the time to win the war, for sure.
Standard issue turrets for the German Panther tank and the Panzervier tank. Later models developed in the 60s from the German colony on the South Pole, which is another very controversial issue. Admiral Byrd led an expedition to the South Pole in '47, trying to wipe out the Germans, but he was beaten very badly. In just 2.5 weeks, he had to leave the continent because the Germans had perfected all these craft. On the bottom row, we have the most interesting examples here. This is an original drawing of a cigar-shaped mothership of 330 feet length that was carrying inside itself one of the tank killer craft and 3 of the interceptor fighter saucers.
So how big was this cigar-shaped
It
craft?
was about...
I've got a, I'll bring up the photograph of that. So yeah, this cigar-shaped craft, which is like pretty much like the mothership, held one of these massive Haunebu flying saucers and three real crafts in this carrier. And this was pretty much what Science Evidence Fringe was talking about, the interstellar craft, which is pretty much what this was, almost like a cargo craft, so to speak. And this was held in allegedly the Zeppelin hangar in Germany. And this is what I can bring out the original document. Well, a copy of the original document, so to speak. I've got everything catalogued right here. Is right at my fingertips.
About 90 to 100 feet in diameter and 330, 350 feet length. This is a football field size craft.
We'll get to Antarctica.
The most interesting, and this could be photographs of German crafts in flight well after the end of the World War, probably flown from their base on the South Pole.
In what year was that, approximately?
These photographs were taken 42, these are and 43, these are 44 and 45. These were taken after the war. The drawings date from 1943. The biggest craft that the Germans built was the 74-meter diameter. This is about 220 feet diameter flying saucer of the Haunebu 3 type. This is a
yeah, look, it does get quite outlandish, I have to admit. Look, the Haunebu itself, the Haunebu 1 and 2 were massive, and then you got 3, 4, and allegedly 5 that got absolutely huge. You think, where is this? Stories that it went to Aldebaran, 38 light years away, into a planet where the bloody Aryans were living. You guys make some pretty good points here. Yeah, so in terms of paperclip, I would love to read Anthony Jacobs' book, and Linda Hunt, she's the one that broke the paperclip story. Nathan, you probably know more than I do on paperclip, but and even the people in the chat, I don't think people understand what the Americans took in. Yes, they took in scientists. Yes, they took in engineers, but a lot of it was to do with the intelligence agency, and that's like a stamp of approval where the Third Reich philosophy is sort of brought over from Germany into America. When you really look at it, like the tactics, so to speak, you can't deny that. But with the scientists involved, especially when you look at like the Bell Project, and I do believe the Bell Project was 100% real. If you want to talk about anything anti-gravity that the Germans created, I would say that the Bell Project, the Die Glocke, was pretty much on par with this. So I'm not too sure when it comes to Haunebu and all that. Well, we'll keep on playing. Yeah, keep it up, chat. It's good, making good points at the moment.
A naval warfare craft with, we can see here in these turrets, triple guns of a naval caliber, 3 turrets on the underbelly and a 4th turret on the top. This was a craft made for huge naval warfare. According to this film, the only craft was taken and flown from the Earth to Mars by a huge crew of basically volunteers and self-sacrificial crew of Germans and Japanese. And it landed on January 15, 1946, after 8 months of flight They departed April 45, a month before the war ended in Germany, and they crash landed on Mars. The gravity field there is too weak, so the craft couldn't make it real nice in the landing.
Happy 420, everyone.
The most interesting things about this craft are that these are free energy devices. These are basically flying converters of gravitational energy that convert the energy of the geomagnetic field of Earth into the electromagnetic energy of flight. So these craft never had to tank. They never had to replenish their reservoirs. They had actually tapped into the inexhaustible reservoir of free gravitational energy of the planet. This is something even more taboo as a topic than the fact that the Germans developed all these 50 different models of craft. Because if one is able to go basically for free to the moon and Mars without using a single gram of fuel, free riding on the gravitational currents of our solar system, then a lot of our present-day economy about, well, we all have to pay for the fuel when we tank our cars, become...
Okay. Oh, bloody hell. Woo! Right, okay. Yeah, we basically got turbines from this one, as you could understand. Also basic rotary and parts that could... to be honest with you, is like the basic technology. I mean, for instance, like Wernher von Braun, and what he managed to create, the V2 rocket, and what that managed to do amongst, obviously he was made like head of NASA and stuff like that. Yes, we got the basic, but that's what we were only shown. I mean, we got some like really wicked bastards that came into America. One of them was called Otto Ambros or something like that. He was like the Surgeon General for the Third Reich. Nasty bastard. He did some horrible stuff during the concentration camps. And he went into America. I mean, no one knows what he did. I think he was made head of the fucking vaccine program. Like literally, I think a lot of people don't really know where these scientists went in. Obviously, the intelligence agency is one of them. But in terms of technology, this is a tricky one. Rocketry, 100%. And what you're saying there, Nathan, with the turbines, that's pretty much what we got, really. Engineers also, they leveled skills. It's crazy. They had the best weapon pistol. Oh, really? I mean, in terms of like weaponry and stuff like that, it was pretty impressive what they managed to do. I've got a book on like German technology, what they managed to create. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, fine, Dick. The Germans lost, but the Americans and the UK at the time were making so much money, they were upset the war ended. Well, if you look since then, where we've always had a war since World War II. Korean War, it's slipping my mind. You get the idea. We've always had a conflict somehow. And you could say some of these false flag operations started it. I mean, like, for instance, the Gulf of Tonkin. Now we know that, I might be wrong on this one, and the chat might correct me on this, that the fact that, oh my God, it's forgetting the bloody war. What's the Vietnam War? Bloody slipping the names. Should have 420. The Vietnam War started because it was actually a false flag operation. Apparently, this American ship was sailing somewhere in Vietnam. Said it was actually torpedoed by the Vietnamese, and apparently that's what started, allegedly, the Vietnam War. But it turned out later in documents, I think around about 2004, and it stated that basically this event never happened. And it's basically like a false flag, like they made it up, 9/11. So you get the idea from here. Do you know what I mean? They use these excuses like 9/11 to push these wars. You know, I mean, what could we say? What was the real reason they went into Iraq for? I was young at the time. 9/11 scared me. It really did, knowing what was about to happen. There was fear-mongering of weapons of mass destruction and all that. What was it really for? Yeah, weapons of mass destruction, but I think there was another reason for it. You know, I swear to God they said that Saddam Hussein had something to do with 9/11. I swear to God. I'm going off topic now, aren't I? That's what happens. Start with the 9/11 stuff. They won't shut up about it. Oh man, you're going through chat like absolute crazy, guys. Also, we got in. Okay, guys, I'm going to skip quite a lot through chat. I do apologize. I'm going to play the rest of Vlad because I want to get into a really interesting event very, very soon. Right.
Well, there's an interesting interview in an Argentinian paper. He probably gave that on his way back from the South Pole before the security lid was clamped on him, where he said the next World War will be fought with an extremely powerful adversary that has the ability to fly from pole to pole. He was obviously talking about the German craft that obliterated his aviation. All his planes were shot down in less than 3 weeks. He came down with 3 carrier fleets with 3 formations of carriers and support craft and 4,000 troops.
Yeah, I think
and was beaten in less than 3 weeks and hastily retreated from
After the Second World War, Nazi Germany, obviously, after its defeat, was there a tacit agreement that they could keep that technology and refine it further? I'm surprised that...
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we have to keep in mind that...
Hey, Benjamin. Hey, man, don't worry. You haven't really missed much, brother. Brother, we've just been, like, watching Vlad and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, don't worry, man. Yeah, don't worry. Once the show finishes, could always pop back. You haven't missed much, mate. Trust me. So, but yeah, how's it going, Benjamin? Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. And Chillster as well. Nice to see you, brother. So yeah, there is something he's going to bring up in just a second. I think it's near the end of this. Oh, no.
Highly engineering, highly specialized report on the German anti-gravity research and development. I have a lot of information about secret collusion between the United States and Russia, all behind the smoke screen of the Cold War.
But Germany, what's Germany's involvement in the Cold War?
Official West Germany, very little. Basically, they were the strong.
Did you notice he paused there? It's like, what shall I say?
Strongest member of NATO, but the secret German colony on the South Pole was basically working hand in hand with the secret Soviet-American space program. It is rumored that when...
Oh yeah, guys, do you reckon there's been like a secret space program between like Russia and America and even like the Soviet Union at some point during history? I'm not too sure on that one. I mean, we're talking about explorations to like the moon and Mars, which we'll get to in a second.
The Russians and Americans landed, I've been selling for the last documentary films and materials.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really glad that you actually came today to share all this information with us, and I hope that we will go much deeper next time into all of this
Next time I would like to talk about the secret Russian-American space programs, the landing on the moon in the late 40s, the landing on Mars in the early 50s. I even think that I have a documentary footage of the first joint landing on Mars. The film says that it was made in '62. I have a suspicion that it was way back in '52. A saucer landing by the two superpowers.
Thank you very
It's just like, this guy's serious.
Very much. Thank you very much for joining us on the Cosmic Egg, and please write in, send us your comments.
It's not fusing music. Yeah, so that is probably one of like a quick interview with Vlad himself. There is a 7-hour presentation you can go find. I'm just going to bring up something else. He brought up about the secret space program. I mean, we could get into it actually. What shall I do? What shall I do? Yeah, okay, tell you what. For those who are like in the older generation who was brought up in England in the 70s, could you remember a documentary? It was a mock documentary in... Oh my God, sorry. I think in 1974, which was aired on the BBC, which was called Alternative 3. And what was Vlad was talking about is that this secret moon landing that apparently... Oh, here it is. Okay, right. So I'll tell you what. Because I have the power of the internet, I'm going to put this in ChatGPT. I'm such a badass. Not really. Pathetic. ChatGPT. I'm going to... and this is going to tell me, right, what this documentary was. And I hope you can see it on screen. Okay, she's like orgasm face right there. Oh yeah, by the way, this channel called Rare Television Gems, I tell you what, was awesome. Loads of amazing documentaries on there. Like, I'll consider them as like old school ones that really buried in YouTube's archives. Definitely go check it out. So Alternative 3 is a 1977 British documentary, a mockumentary, so to speak, that aired on Angelia Television, part of a science report series written by blah, 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 blah. The program was intended to be broadcast on April the 1st, but due to its industrial actions, it was delayed until June the 20th, 1977. The film realistically documentary style and serious tone led to many viewers to believe it was actually an actual investigated reporting sparks widespread panic and numerous calls to the broadcast. So it dealt with a lot of like mysteries. And yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do. I've got it right here. I'm going to put this in chat so you can watch this yourself. And like I said to the people that are in the older generation, did you see this back in the day? Hey, John P. Adventures. John, I've been watching your videos recently, brother, and I'm loving the long hair. You look awesome, man. I tried growing my hair out, and it just like I had long hair before, and I couldn't go back to it again. You know, I have to stick short. But mate, you're rocking that long hair. It looks awesome, brother. Yeah, keep it up, and keep up the good videos as well. It's nice to see you did a nice one with like a church. I remember, like, I should have put a comment, but I did like it, by the way. It was awesome. Lovely church. I don't know where you live, man, but yeah, lovely scenery. Very, very nice. What we've got here? I'm just going to go through. Can anybody remember this? Ooh, spicy. Okay. Okay, no worries. Okie dokie. Right. Okay. So basically, this is what it was. It's a mockumentary that happened in 1977. But Vlad has been coming forward and saying that what I'm about to show you is real. It's all about the space. It's basically Russian and American coming together with a secret space program to land a probe, not to actually land themselves or people, is to land a probe on Mars in 1962 or something like that. And I'm going to show you it right here, all queued up.
And I see something 40.
Yes.
And you get a jukebox. Does that mean anything?
We've heard of it.
Oh, sorry. I think the sound is only like coming through one ear. I do apologize, guys.
And played once again the videotape.
Yes.
And you get a jukebox. Does that mean anything?
We've heard of it.
And he said that you've got to play back Valentine's tape.
Okay, you can see it's like pretty shit acted. Do you know what I mean, mate? Right, this is it.
That's all.
All right, love.
We connected up the printed circuit and played once again the videotape that Sir William Ballantyne, before his death, had sent to his friend, John Hendry. This time, we obtained an acceptable picture, which you are now about to see as we saw it.
Comrades, can you hear me in We're getting a good picture here and can make a fair amount of detail.
Oh, sweet. Nice one, man. It's lovely.
Stand by to scan.
Oh, you're going back. Oh, that's a shame, man. Well, at least you had a good time, man. So yeah, this is it, guys. This is apparently the real footage you're watching.
Okay, and mode 1 scanning. Stand by. Standing by. Roger, standing by. Hey, isn't there a whole river, man? Can you verify that, Curatam? Roger, Houston, we saw that. Stand by for readings, Houston. Standing by, Curatam.
Roth Tolkien would think this is real. That's right.
Wind speed 21 kilometers per hour from southwest. Скорость ветра 21 км в час. Atmospheric pressure 707.7 millibars. Атмосфера давления 7 millibars. It's good. It's good, Curatam. On the nose, this работает. Stand by for landing, Curatam. Stand by.
Okay, I don't know if you noticed, it goes glitchy and then it changes sort of view, like a different screen. Clearly real.
My God, what is that? Something moving. Something moved there. Boy, if they ever take the wraps off this thing, it's going to be the biggest date in history. 22nd May, 1962. We're on the planet Mars, and we have life. Замечательно! Отлично! Поздравляем! Наконец-то!
We believe that to be an authentic record of the first and secret landing on Mars by an unmanned space probe from Earth. We also believe the date given, May the 22nd, 1962, to be accurate. Clearly, the blank...
There we go. So that's a little extract from this mockumentary. If you watch through it, it does sound quite badly acted. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched through it, and you can easily tell this is it's basically taking the piss. And but unfortunately, Vladimir himself has taken this too seriously. Do you know what I mean? And he's saying that it is real. There is some like weird things behind it, though. Like I believe some of the producers were stalked by the intelligence agency. I think Joseph P. Farrell did talk about it at some point. But there are some really weird occurrences that did happen after this mockumentary came out. Look, make your own decision on it. We're all adults here. I personally think that is most likely fake. There's another film about Mars landing where they found that paper mache woman. Oh yes, that was. Did me and Hidden do a show on it? That was Apollo 21. I think it was. I have internet. I know what you're talking about there. Apollo 21. No, hold on. No, I can't remember. It was Apollo conspiracy thing, wasn't it? Conspiracy. Guys, could you remember in chat? It was one of the Apollo programs. I remember the Apollo 12. I can't remember. Sorry, I'm blabbing on now. Yeah, basically, that was one of the programs that was set up by NASA, and it was one of the. They found like the Nordic lady that looked like she had like matchsticks on her eyes. Could you remember that? It was clearly paper mache. It was quite interesting, actually. I think me and Hidden Underbelly did a show on it, and it was most definitely fake and gay. It was good. Yeah. Yeah, I can remember that. I can't remember. It was in one of the Apollo programs. I thought it was 21, but it's not. So right, what else we got here? So, like I said, you can find loads of so I'm just trying to figure out clips here. There's loads of videos of Vladimir Terziski to a certain degree. But what I'm going to do now, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Okay, is that one? Okay, right. You have no idea how many bloody links I've got at the moment. I'm trying to pick the right one. Right, this is it. I'm going to go through, your lovers, some publications. We listen to Vlad himself. Oh, is this the right one? Oh, man. I don't think this is the right one. Bollocks. Sorry, guys. 2 seconds. Okay. I might have to skip. Picket flower. Sorry, guys. 2 seconds. The joys of streaming. Okay, no, that's faking gay. I'm not going to show that. Okay, well, I obviously don't have it up. No, I don't. Okay, all right. Anyway, I tell you what, we're going to skip that. He brought up some publications that I really wanted to show, which I thought was in here. Is that it? No, it's not. Okay. Okay, never mind. All right, forget about it. Okay. So with Vladimir Terziski, in terms of where he went, no one flipping knows. But he dealt with a lot of, like I said, German flying saucers and stuff like that. I kind of want to do a bit of due diligence. Oh yeah, Apollo, that's it. Apollo 20 was on the moon. Yes, that's it, Mark Jeffries. Thank you so much. That is the one. I thought it wasn't 21, it was actually 20. Yeah, go check it out. That's the one with the lady with the paper mache. Something that is clearly, like she pop up says, fake and gay, but great. Oh, damn, I really want to find that Vladimir Terziski, because you had publications like right here that I wanted to show. But anyway, we can always come back to Vlad at some point. We can always come back to Vlad. So I'll tell you what, we'll bring up just one more. One more, let's bring up. Does anyone know Al Bulick or heard of Al Bulick? Because you're about to know who this guy is right now. Both. Right.
All part of the mind control programs of the 50s and the 60s, the memory functions. Contract killer. Of psychic ability.
So here, I would love to do an episode on with either Hair or Hidden Underbelly about this guy, Al Bulick. He's supposed to be part of the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk Project. He apparently traveled back into the future into like 1221 or something like that, and came back into our time period. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. A lot of trust me, bros, and these stories doesn't really seem to have any substance. Do you know what I mean? Good storytellers out there, I have to admit. But anyway, we're gonna play a bit of this. Oh, actually, no. Actually, fuck it.
And the story of how the project came down is even stranger. Might be worth noting. We had to track back, and Preston Nichols was very heavy in this because he's a radio amateur and he's in the radio amateur clubs.
Yes, I did.
And he had been by that place many times.
Montauk. Hey, and Woodward. How's it going, brother?
He, Duncan, and myself in his van headed up to the place. He wanted to show me this vast transmitter site. He says, I don't think we can get on in there, but it's there. Well, the gates were wide open. The guards were gone. The power was off. So we drove in and drove around and wandered all through the place. And they had not yet started demolishing the main transmitter building. They had demolished some of the smaller buildings peripherally, which may have had some manufacturing facilities. We're not sure. But we went through that, saw all of the transmitters, and there were some very strange charges left on them. Eventually, of course, the amateurs were invited in to strip the place, take anything they wanted, because it would save the contractor the trouble of removing it. So the amateurs had a field day. They took down 5 towers,
on my phone.
120 feet high with the rotating antennas. They saved the antennas. They took everything you can imagine. And when they were done, they still had literally tens of tons of hardware to scrap. The transmitters eventually were bulldozed, what was left of them. But we couldn't understand why this place shut down. because it was a functioning overseas communication system. Well, finally, the story filtered through from ITT Corporation's headquarters at Maiden Lane, New York, about a very strange occurrence in one night in September, actually a Saturday. ITT had planned to shut this facility down on a permanent basis because they really had a little more use for it. And that particular morning on a Saturday, they gave instructions by phone to the station master that this was to be the last day of transmission.
Okay.
There'll be some traffic.
Okay, so I'm so sorry about that because I have no idea what this guy was saying. It's a bit of a backstory on that one. But I just found the link for the video I actually wanted to play. It was actually on my phone, which makes sense. And I'm going to bring this up now for you guys because I think this is quite important to show you where I'm coming from with German flying saucers. Just quickly. Okay. This is it. Boom. Near the end of this. Okay, let's put it to... there.
Kornstein complex, very close to the Dora concentration camp. And little by little, I realized for myself that these
No, not that.
They had a pilot would be able to glide.
So Vladimir, at this point, this is 1992, and he's been getting all these publications, and he's been putting it forward to present the German Nazi flying saucer or flying disc conspiracy. I'm going to show you something that's really quite interesting.
The second stage, and then jump with a parachute before impact on the American East Coast. These were meant for their nuclear weapons. And despite the many rebuttals that they never developed submarine-launched missiles, we see here a missile that is... So, after seeing all these bizarre designs, and in books like this one and many others, one would see so strange shapes that had never...
Okay, I saw that and I was like, I think I've got that. Yes, that exact same thing. It's this. We want you. Is Hitler still alive? I did show it on Nazi UFO Part 2, and I tried to read it, but really badly. I think it's this one. It's got to be. Because this one it brought up Victor Schauberger. Oh, look at that. Spot on. Look at that. That, my friend, is what you call my research into German flying saucers. We've got this exact same thing. Look at that. Yeah, so me and Vlad were on the same page. And what is interesting about this publication, which is exactly the same as this, it came out in... So this came out in 1960, but this is a reprint of 1969, which is actually the same reprint of this. So yeah, this is how far back we're going. 1960s. Both publications. So it just goes to show where me and Vlad are getting our information from.
Never been test known
not the internet.
Germany collapsed. Then I started summarizing accounts of flying saucers built by German designers. Victor Schauberger, who was the genius of vortex mechanics, as Tesla was the genius of electromagnetic electromagnetism, built the funniest designs of saucers. These were 3-4 feet copper saucers made of copper sheet. And he was running compressed air from a compressed air bottle or water from the garden hose through this tube inside into a helical path that would make the water rotate, and the rotating water would create this aerodynamic, anti-gravity lift. The second one was so successful that when tested, rumor goes that it crashed through the roof of the lab.
Allegedly. Yeah, there you go. There we go. I've got one more thing here.
This, in flown in one of these, there were no
Hold on. Hold on. This looks very familiar. I wonder if... Sorry, guys. My brain triggers and I go, ooh, that looks very familiar. Oh, yes. Look at that. Right. Hold on. Let's be a bit bigger. Look. It's the same thing. Same publication. This is a different publication. Look at that. It's the same. You got even the bit at the bottom. Look, bit at the bottom. I'm trying to match it up exactly. Look at that. We're getting. That's a different publication. Look, that's from 1980s. So you see where I didn't know this. Vlad had this. It's just me literally going on eBay and trying to buy publications, old publications on German Nazi flying saucers. And they're cool. We're coming across the same thing. They're awesome.
Which is another interesting physical detail that no inertial forces are active in the middle of the saucer because it creates its own gravity field around it, its own inertial system. And so this explains how saucers can do these incredible maneuvers without killing the occupants inside. Later models have a much bigger rocket engine and a stabilizer added for stability in horizontal flight. On initial models, it was a smaller rocket engine, and on the later models, they had a much larger engine attached.
All right.
Later on, they discovered that basically the helicopter
it's got to be
occupants inside.
In the same book.
Later.
Ha! I just got a notification come through. Alien Addict is now live. Yeah, no shit. Look at that. Oh, is that the same? No, I don't think it is. No, it's not. It's not the same. Okay, that looked familiar from somewhere else. Hold on. I somehow got excited for once in my life. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Woo! For those on Spotify, I'm pulling up publications, what he's putting up back in the 90s that I've actually collected myself. Look at that. Awesome. Oh, yes. We'll get to that in a minute. Yes. I'll tell you what. One more. I just saw one more. I guarantee it's going to be this
stabilizer added for stability in horizontal flight.
Oh, perfect. Look at this. It's the same. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. It's the same publication. So yeah, this is it. This was supposed to be my Nazi UFO Part 3 publication, Part 2, which I need to do like AI generated voices. And you can see here, where's the date? Oh no, look. Can you pick it up, camera? 1982. That's how far back we're going, guys. 1982. So it just goes to show that Vladimir Terziski is a bit like me in today's day and age. I hope I don't go missing. If I go missing, guys, it's a whole new conspiracy for you to go behind. But yeah, that's enough of Vlad for today. We can always pick up Vladimir at some point later on the stage. Like I said, there is hours upon hours of research on this, on basically anything German flying saucer related. So yeah, go check it out. And like I said, if you do come across anything Vladimir Terziski related, save it, hold on to it, download it, keep it in the archive like I always do. Well, I keep track of things anyway. So yeah, there we go. Vlad. But no idea where he's gone. Absolutely no idea. He's gone straight off the earth. Should we put in AI? Not AI. Yes, AI. ChatGPT. Just to see where. Fuck it. Let's put it up on screen because we have the internet. Yes, science evidence for. Do you want to get to that in a minute? Because I do have that book, the original one as well. There we go. Lovely. Where is Vladimir Terziski? Yeah, go on. Fuck it. Search in the web. Vladimir, yeah, I know that. I want to know where the bloody hell he's gone. I know that, but where is Vladimir in 2025? Go on. As of June of 2025, there's no public availability information confirming the current whereabouts or activities of Vladimir Terziski. His last known public appearance was in the late 90s, yes, after which he largely disappeared from the public eye. Despite his significant influence in UFO and conspiracy theory circles, particularly regarding Nazi UFOs and secret space programs, there have been no verified reports of his activities location in recent years. While some of his work, such as Close Encounters of the Foo Fighter kind, continues to be discussed and shared among enthusiasts like me, there are no evidence to suggest that he is active in the field today. His theories remain controversial and are not supported by mainstream science. So there we go. You have to admit, ChatGPT is a bit of a help. It's just to say, look, we have absolutely no idea where he's gone. He's gone from the public eye. So I don't know. He might pop up at some point. He might pop up. I don't know. But let's get back to Nazi secret weapon. Hold on, bloody sinuses are playing up. Right. Well, there's two books, Science Evidence Fringe, on this one. Where are we to? Hang on. Right, that's that. And the other one's in here. I'm not going to get it. It's the remake of it. So basically, what Science Evidence Fringe here, he's talking about this. Okay, UFO's Nazi secret weapon, created, or the author by this is what he's saying there. Is it Mather Frederick? Look, you know I'm a crap reader, but the real name of this guy is Ernest Zudet. Very controversial figure. Oh, one of the pages has come out. Who cares? I could always put it back together. A very controversial figure, Ernest Zudet. Google. Bring up Google. Come on. Is it Ernest? You. Is it Udet? Actually, so I put Nazi secret weapon. I can actually bring up the book. Oh, what about UFO Nazi secret weapon? Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get things, the actual author's name. There we are. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to pull it in ChatGPT. Right, okay. Who is... Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to work off the whim here. So Ernest Udet, okay. Like I said, a very controversial figure. Came out in the 70s, not as gay, but he had his own publication company in Toronto, Canada in the 1970s. Brought out a number of books like this, UFO's Nazi secret weapon, but also promoting the idea of the algorithm's going to hate me to say this. Can you see that there? Holocaust, blah, 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 blah. You understand, he didn't believe in a certain thing that killed a lot of people back in the day. He wrote a book called Did 6 Million Really Die? Okay, go figure. Okay, so very controversial figure. He was the one that really put out stories about before Station 211, which is the Nazi Antarctica base. he put forward in this book. Hold on. Pardon me. He put in this book, it was actually called Base X. That's what it was called first of all. And then the story started to change after that. So this is just a background of Ernest Zudet, who is the author of this book. What we're saying here, UFO Nazi Secret Weapon. And in here, you can see... Oh, actually, just like different types of weapons. I think that's what Vladimir Terziski was actually showing. So this was like one of the first publications to come out publicly talking about this technology, not anti-gravity, but we're talking about the turbine-driven aircraft. You can see I've got to be really careful with the pages because it's all like falling apart. But this is what the Science Evidence Fringe is actually talking about. So a lot of the stories based upon the Nazi flying discs kind of came from this. Because he's such a controversial figure, Ernest Zudet, which he changed his name to that, Matter and Frederick, I think that's what it's called. Because he was, I think he got banged up in jail for his beliefs, I believe. But like I said, it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. So they bring out the book again in a remastered version, and then it's actually here. It's underneath my array of books. I just can't bother getting it. But basically, it's the same book as this, but they've added How Naboo and real flying saucers into it. There is no real How Naboo flying saucers in this. Just a turbine-driven aircraft created by Rudolf Schriever, Otto Hobsbawm, Giuseppe Belluzzo, and Richard Methe in the early 40s. So yeah, it's an interesting book for research to understand where these stories came from, but it needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. Do you know what I mean, mate? We're talking about Nazis and UFOs here, buddy. But saying that, there are reports and documentations to prove, look, there were some sort of flying discs being created by the Germans. Whether or not it's anti-gravity, I think it's probably most likely turbine-driven aircraft. Yeah, I tell you what, the worst one is my Cosmic Twilight channel. That, I'm not joking, let's bring it up. So let's move away from Vlad. If anyone else got to say anything about that. Yeah. Oh God, StreamYard is doing the gay thing again. It keeps on. It has chat all in order, and it goes right up to the beginning, and then it jumbles things up. It's strange. I'm paying money for StreamYard, and they can't get the audio right. They can't get anything right. It always buggers up and screws up. Stop bitching, Nick. For Christ's sake, it's like a bloody teenager. Okay, right. Next up, what have we got here? Bring up my notes. Okay, so that's all Vlad about the Mars landing. Oh, this is brilliant. I have been waiting so long trying to find this video, and I do have it queued up. It's 10 minutes long. It's 10 minutes long. This came out in, hold on, 2001. 2001. Now, what was popping up in the sky at that time? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Hold on. I need to bring up my channel. Hold on. The Cosmic. Because what they've done with my channel is that they've put me right down the bottom of the list. Hold on. It's pointless finding your channel, Nick. You can't find it. Okay. All right. I'm just going to show you something, right? Fucking YouTube. YouTube hates chemtrail videos. Bastards. Look at me. In 3 days. Now, chat, you tell me how many YouTube videos gets 18 views in 3 days. Look, 18 views in 3 days. It's like, it's so retarded. I'm worse than Shadow Band at this point. It's worse than Alien Addict. I'm not joking. And you're getting proper analysis here on Trails in the Sky. But I just want to show that to the people that don't get notifications. I get absolutely nothing. I upload a video and I'm going through my phone and my video won't even show up. So, yeah. All right, man. Yeah, nice to see you. And see you soon, man. Have a good one. So, yeah, it's YouTube sucks. I mean, for instance, my 9/11 video I wanted to do will have to be on Rumble. I need to ask Ollie to give me over the password and all that. So that will be like a Rumble exclusive at some point. But what I'm going to show you, something really interesting. Yeah, it's the same, Rebecca. They do not want to talk about it. Like, if you watch my videos, my chemtrail videos, I do. You're really having a realistic opinion. You're having a 50-50. I sound like a skeptic, but I'm really not. I'm really looking at the skies, seeing what's in the sky, and I'm going, right, okay, is this potentially chemtrail related? And you go back through the time-lapse video and you go, oh, actually not. This cloud just formed naturally. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what I was going to show you about an old UFO sighting, which I find... I saw this and I couldn't find it for ages. And Rich Giordano showed this years ago when he first started. Right, check this out. It's about 8 minutes long, so sit back, relax. And this is called the Fleetwood UFO case in UK. Now, for those of you who managed to get this right in chat, thank you, Rebecca. I try not to sound like a dick in my chemtrail videos. I'm going to be honest. Look. The community has changed a lot, and what I put forward is, like I said, like you said, Rebecca, it's a lot of detail. I'm showing what people say is man-made in the sky, and I'm like, look, I can put up a photograph from one of my books from the 1940s of the same sky. It says, look, come on, it can't just associate everything to be man-made. I'm going off on one, but no, thanks for the details. That's it. It's all about details, not trust me, bros, sources and information and pictures and stuff like that. So, yeah, right. Fleetwood Lights. Go for it. If anyone gets this right, I'll put a point in for the next pub quiz I do. Right.
First time I saw them was on the 20th of January. And they were out above that bungalow there. 4 of them together. And a 5th one came up and followed them and joined them above the roof of the house. They just sat there and didn't move, and there were these enormous orange globes. There was no sound, didn't make a move. It was as if they just parked up and took the keys out and cleared off. Because I'd just come back from the shop and I was driving around the corner there, and they were just moving across. You couldn't miss them. They were so big, they were just there in the corner of my eye. Yeah. And I thought, crikey, that helicopter's low. Yeah. And then I realised it wasn't a helicopter because the 5th light was independent of the other 4 and came up and joined the other 4. And they all just sat together. And I stood for about 7 or 8 minutes and I walked in the middle of the road and I'm looking like this and there wasn't a sound, there was no noise. You could hear the street lights humming, but you couldn't hear those lights humming. There was nothing at all. There was nothing behind the lights as if they were attached to a machine or anything. So I went in the house and I said to my husband, just whip out the back door quick and have a look over the garden gate, tell me what you can see. So he went out and his chin is his kneecaps, he couldn't believe it, and he just stood staring at them. Then he ran to get John, our neighbour here, and John came out and we were still sat there, hadn't moved, and just as John went back in to get his telescope, we slowly started to move away to the north. But we were only treetop height. Where that tree is at the back of that bungalow is how high they were. And we still didn't ring, we didn't do anything about it, because we didn't want to get laughed at. And then exactly 5 weeks and 5 days later, it was on a Thursday, the first time was on a Saturday. My husband was on the front here with my little boy on a 2-wheeler bike. He's only 6, he can start but can't stop. My husband's running around the back of him like this. And instead of being that side of the road this time, they were above this row of houses. And they just came sailing in from the end of the street, right, all in a line, just in a line.
I come flying out, looked up and saw them above here with the moon sat behind them. Shot back in, grabbed my scope, and just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then just checked all 4 of them were okay. There was only 4 at this time. Checked they were all 4 was all right. They were the same. and then sort of locked onto one, and just by holding my scope hard against the lamppost and getting a good solid position again.
If you can guess the object, okay, it is gonna snap. Not quite. Think early 2000s.
Against it, so I've got something really supportive, and then try to get it in my mind's eye exactly what I'd seen. But a single light, not any strobing lights, not red and green for your wings, for your port and starboard. No strobing lights, which are now your flashing white lights, which you can see very, very clearly for, 30, 40 mile away at least. So, no chance. I mean...
Hey, they showed up, and then suddenly they went in about a span of like a year or two.
Like I've said, 30-odd years of spotting all over the world: Spain, America, Germany, France, Italy. Weird. I'd say they were pretty low. I mean, guessing that they were looking through the houses in the distance, going over towards Barrow Way.
I'm sticking.
Maybe about 1,000 feet, something like that. Distance, no idea. I didn't get a clear picture of them at all.
Come on, guys.
Any idea about estimated speed?
No, only that they were moving away, and again, they were. About the time I got my scope on them, to be really honest, I had just no idea. I mean, they could have been going slowly, they could have been going a bit quicker. I just don't know. But they were there for a fair bit of time, so I'd hazard a guess they were reasonable slow. Out I went, and these things were just right over the top of the house, and they were just unbelievable. And I mean, we've said about aircraft and everything else. No way. I mean, they weren't hot air balloons or anything. My very first, and I'll be honest, my very first instinct was hot air balloon. As I first got looked through the scope at it. But then I started checking all five. There were 5 of them. I think there are 5 now. Again, my memory started going. But they were. I checked all the lot. I checked in each individual one, and then I checked one in particular, and they all looked the same. They all were like a big cylinder, white cylinder, like a parachute type material, as you might say. The moon was set behind, so it was showing through this material, as you might call it. And then in the base was like what you might call a candle light bulb. There was no flame or anything. It was just like a glow. And that was attached. It was like that, and it was attached to the bottom of this cylinder.
Chinese
and then
lantern.
it was like shaped like that in 4 separate like segments. Open at the top, open at the bottom. So there was that ruled out the hot air balloon theory straight out the window.
And then the 23rd of March was the last time we saw them, and I was looking through my window because now I sit with my vertical blinds set so I can see straight down the street. And I'm just sat like this looking out the window. And it was 7:45, it was when the adverts were on for Coronation Street. And I looked out the window and I saw in the distance to the north-northwest, sorry, north-northeast, that's right, north-northeast, this orange light coming this way.
Right.
And I called my husband Danny and I said, just have a look at that, is it a plane?
This occasion. And because they weren't, even though quite impressive, they weren't as close as last time, I didn't feel that nervous, and that's why I managed to keep a straight hand. But to tell you the truth, to know what they were, I haven't got a clue. I mean, we have helicopters around here. The odd one goes out because we're so close to the coast here, and people get in trouble. So we know what helicopter sounds like and looks like, and we get plenty of aircraft crossing over. But what this was extraordinary. That's why everyone came out on the street to see what they were, because they were going so slowly, these big orange balls, that people had never seen them before in their life, and they'd like to know what it was. People we've met have around here have seen the lights. It's something very common.
So as you can see, and as the person has described, what you are witnessing here is actually Chinese lanterns. Okay. So people have been misidentifying something that is something easily explainable. All right. look, I'm going to show you something right now that I taken. This is my personal collection of. So this is part 4 chemtrails 2009, New Year 2010. Yeah, God, that brings back memories. So yes, I've been filming the skies for a number of years now. I was living back in a parents' place at this point, and just so behold, yes, it's an aircraft. I was filming aircraft back in the day. You can't hear any audio, by the way. But if I skip forward, you will see. And what is that? You have Chinese lanterns. Now, I did see these. Chat, you probably know this as well. 2009-10. This is New Year's. This is New Year's actually. 2009 to 2010. Oh, you can see my show. I got so excited. You can hear me. I'm really excited. So here we have Chinese lanterns. Red Bull definitely does give you wings, especially those Chinese lanterns, mate. But it just goes to show, you know, anybody would see this, and I'm absolutely crap at keeping the camera still. I do apologize, but you can see someone would see this and be like, "Oh my god, it's UFOs in the sky." But in fact, what we were witnessing is in fact Chinese lanterns. Yes. Yes. There we go. There we go. I zoomed into one. What else is on here? Oh, that's personal shit. I said sorry, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. You know, I saw Chinese lanterns back in the day. I haven't seen them for years. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, 2008-9. That was New Year's Eve going into 2009, 2010. And that's when I saw them. So yeah. But the point I just want to get is that the fact that what we just saw here in the video, obviously the one before the Fleetwood UFO sighting, was in fact just Chinese lanterns. 2001, going back a long time, you know. Do you know what? I think they might be are Chinese lanterns banned in UK. I got ChatGPT right up. Chinese lanterns banned in UK. Let's have a look. I think they are, mate. To be honest with you. As from June 2005, Chinese lanterns are not banned nationwide in the UK. However, their use is increasingly restricted by local authorities due to the safety and environmental concerns. Look, these bloody things don't get that high. You know, clear example, you just saw from the back garden. It probably went, 3 times higher than a house. It's not going to go up thousands of feet in the air. Do you know what I mean? But look. But the thing is, what people don't realize with Chinese lanterns is that the flame goes whilst it's in the air, isn't it? The flame keeps them, obviously, the more the flame keeps them going, it's a bit like a hot air balloon. The Chinese lantern is going to rise, but it's got a certain time period. So eventually it's just going to come down in the sky. This is what we normally see Chinese lantern. They go dark after a while, and it eventually falls down to space. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Protein shake. Close to Bristol Airport. Yes. Especially where I would, it probably would float to Bristol Airport. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't seen them in ages. Nice to see them. Be nice to see them. It's nice to see if I can do a real UFO. Would be nice. They came down and set cornfields. Oh, right. Yeah. Especially, yeah, it could do actually in my area if it's like a really hot day. I'm going to be honest with you. For sure. Because I live next to woodlands and everything. So, yeah, that was that. But just goes to show that people were misidentifying stuff back in the day. It's a common thing, isn't it? Oh, cut up to 2 hours. Brilliant. Fantastic. Notes. Show UFO Chinese lanterns. Twitter. Okay. Let's bring out Twitter, mate. Now, you know me. I do like a bit of chemtrail talk. Right, let's turn this off. Right, okay. I'm just going to show you this. This is what was sent to me by Green Tea. If Green Tea, if you're in watching this, nice to see you. I know sometimes you're looking and all that, but yeah, you sent me this on my Rumble channel, and I think it's worth just analyzing this, okay? Because what you're about to see is not necessarily like that. Let me explain. I need to explain something. Let's do it. So what we have a time lapse, and we have a number of trails that are being counted. Okay, 3, 4. Look at the trails. Okay, see they're being laid. Okay, you can see it, and eventually it gets quite bad. So right there, I'm just going to speed up ahead, and it turns into this. Okay, now I'm going to argue something here. When you talk about chemtrails, you are talking about trails that go from horizon to horizon. Now, check this out. These trails are not necessarily going to block out the sun. All right, these are very short, whispery trails in the sky. And the fact that if you turn up ahead, yes, it does spread out. But I think what people misidentify, and especially like this bit here, was exactly what happened today. But with no look, you can see the trails go past. They're not really doing anything. They're not laying any trails in the sky at all. And then I went to hold on, I forgot this one here. Is this the right one? I think it was this one here. Was it 30? No, it was not. A really good video I'm going to show you just really quickly. I'm sorry to talk about chemtrails and stuff like that. It's just, I think, like I said, I think people are misidentifying what they're really seeing in the sky. Which one is it? Sorry, guys. Where are you two? Where are you two? Oh, they're on. There we go. Okay. This is a typical example of what I'm about to show you. Okay. I don't want to sound like a dick. I don't want to bore you. Just a bit of education. This was on the 30th. This is my time lapse. Okay. Just pay attention. What you're going to see, first of all, in the morning. I'm going to speed it up. This is such a reoccurring thing I keep on seeing. You will start to see these very small trails in the sky, and then you get this like this massive big blanket of cloud. Hold on. Okay, right. You see the trails? Now look at this. Look at that cloud just forming naturally. And at that time, in one of my videos, the chemtrail video I made, I said that that was a chemtrail. I said, look at that chemtrail, it's massive. Look, go back. You see a trail being formed there, and look at that cloud, just forms naturally. This is what I mean by people are misidentifying stuff in the sky. Sorry to having the bitch, but I've seen so many stuff like this of this would basically called a cirrus cloud, or in other words, like cirrocumulus cloud. It forms naturally. You can clearly see it, and it always happens where there's trails in the sky. Small little trails, and throughout that week you can clearly see that a lot of this cloud you see here, it really has nothing to do with chemtrails. It's a naturally formed cloud, and I go into like massive amounts of detail into that. You can see it forming naturally, but you will get someone putting a camera up into the sky because they see this trail being formed, and then they associate everything else with in the sky to do with chemtrails, and it really ain't. You know, you think it's what I do in my videos is to really analyze the skies. You know, yeah, you got a few trails in the sky here, but it's not blanking out the sun. It's not like this. when there's completely trails over the sky. Do you know what I mean? It's just natural cloud that's happening. Do you see what I mean? When you speed it up and have a look. Yeah, sorry for boring you, but look at this. So in the evening, I was out here at the time being, and I said that, hold on, where is it? Right, that here. See that cloud right there? Now watch it disappear. Look. It just like fades away. But I keep on seeing these pictures being posted online saying this is to do with geoengineering. It's like, look, it's nothing to do with chemtrails. It's a naturally formed cloud. And it's only until I started analyzing the skies through time lapse, I'm going, oh, actually, no, what I was saying was actually wrong. And that we're just witnessing weather. Sorry for bitching, guys. I'm sorry. Right, no more chemtrail stuff, for Christ's sake. But do you understand, like, the point I'm coming across? I'm not denying chemtrails. I have to keep saying that because people think I'm a skeptic, and I'm really not. But that there kind of mimics what I'm seeing. Is I think what we're seeing here is like near the end, that bit that like very small trails, and as you can see, that white haze kind of looks like what we were seeing in this video and what we've seen today. I see it so many times, but it's nothing really to do with chemtrails. And I'm going to be honest with you, number 9 and 10, see them coming down there. Look, the trails disappear. How is that a chemtrail? Like, like, look at that. Look at 9 and 10. It does nothing. How is that a chemtrail? It dissipates. Do you know what I mean? So people put this out and they say it's given the misconception of what they're seeing in the sky, that a persistent trail in the sky is a chemtrail. I'm so sorry for banging on. I really do apologize. No more. Go away, Nick. Go away. Okay, UFO stuff. I saw this. Okay, UFO Mania just post a lot of wacky stuff in in the so I was reading that post. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, to be honest with you, on a clear day, Rebecca, especially clear night day, I film the skies with my time lapse, and I set the camera so it actually brightens up the light sky. It's actually pretty good. If you go check it out on my Investigate with Nick, like the night time lapse, you get to understand. You can see like all the planets and all like the shooting stars. It's actually quite interesting. But I'm gonna be honest, since really analyzing the skies for the past 4 years, since been moving into this new place, I got the opportunity to actually look at the sky, whenever I want. Being a gardener, this is quite easy thing for me to do, to really track the skies. So at night, no, I got one nighttime time lapse where there's just like a couple of big trails in the sky. However, the most reoccurring thing I see about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I've got time-lapse video after time-lapse video of this. They do it in the morning. They spray in the morning early, and then it can linger throughout the rest of the day. Sometimes they stop, and then they do it in the evening. But you are right. The thing is, a lot of this mass cloud that we're seeing, this white haze, you could say, yes, it is naturally, because I can back it up by books. However, it could be sprayed 100 miles or 500 miles down in the distance, and it's made its way up. This is why, actually, in fact, it's actually here. Concerned citizen, I'm very dubious of what this guy puts out, but in Florida, Floridians are complaining that Floridians are complaining that despite it being summer, they don't get to see the sun or blue sky. This sounds familiar, because it is, and we know why. So a lot of people are taking pictures, obviously, of the sky. To be honest with you, I think that's probably something natural. I'm going to be honest. I don't think people are really smart dust involved in this. Did you understand this? It's like so many different theories behind this. It's toxic spraying. It's smart dust. It's Sorara. It's so many different theories behind it. Chemical smell. I'm like, look, at the time being, you need to understand that the farmers are treating their fields and everything. So you don't know, you really don't know. But the fact is, the point I'm trying to make is that they could be spraying way off in a distance, and then that blanket of spray has gone completely spread out, and it's made its way towards Florida. A possibility of what we're actually seeing here. So the idea that, yes, they can ban geoengineering in Florida, but it doesn't say they can do it 500 miles in a distance, and then the wind's actually bringing it over. Do you understand? So what I found out, is I lost my train of thought then, because I found another link. Yeah, I found a spraying program that dates back to 1995. In fact, I'm going to bring it up now. I'm going to show you. Damn it. All these chemtrail videos, and gets me like, ooh, we're excited. This is interesting. Check this out. Me doing research, baby. So this is an archive for CEDA. I don't know what it is called. And this is a climate change, an aerosol product, basically being put into the atmosphere. And I found all the documentations for this dating back to 1995. Okay. It's all on this website here. Basically, this is like a catalog and the data where you can actually find environmental data and analysis. Basically, this is what it's doing, and you can actually pull up the documents and everything like that. And a lot of the information is coming from the Center of Environmental Data Analysis, the Natural Environmental Research Council, which is funding, by the way, the spraying of our skies. This is what the government has actually funded. I talked about them in the weather modification video I put out on my YouTube channel. So you can find all the data on this website. Is immensely fascinating, and I couldn't find it anywhere until I used ChatGPT. I literally put it in, like, give me up all the links of aerosol being sprayed with all the government contracts, and they gave me this, and it's pretty good. If you want to go delve into that, go ahead for yourself. But yes, we can trace back spraying programs to 1995, and I probably do that on my Cosmic Twilight channel. But yeah, Rebecca, in the mornings they do it. That's one thing I noticed. And once you get like loads of faint trails in the morning, that's when you know it's going to be a banger of a proper heavy spray day. Which is, I have to admit, I do love those days. I love it. I'm like a little kid in a candy store, just like, right, get the camera up and have a little look. Like, I have such fun. So yeah, that's that. No more chemtrail talk. No more. It's too fringe for YouTube. You should know better, Nick. Right, let's bring up our Twitter one more time. Late to tight. What else we got? Yeah, honestly, looking at this, that is a big ass coffin. I want to see if that's a full human inside. What do you reckon? 15 foot tall, I would say. That's something. Unless it's photoshopped. I don't know. But still impressive though, isn't it? I tell you what, for hidden show, we are going to be talking about Rendlesham Forest next show, but the one after that, I think we're going to do giants, like mythical giants and stuff like that. I think it'd be a good show. But we can't sort of going back to like old UFO cases. Do you think they spray chems in NK? What's that, mate? NK. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Science Evidence Fringe. Yes, I would say a lot of horse shit that comes with that. With that one. North Korea. I don't know, mate. It could be anywhere. It could be absolutely anywhere. There's so many theories for chemtrails. It's the main focus for me is there to dim the sun. I kind of ignore the mind control because we've got 5G, we've got our phones. I mean, we've got everything that something else. Yeah. So I think spraying aerosols, 35,000 feet in the air or 25,000 feet in the air in the troposphere or stratosphere, are those particles going to rain down? If they can contaminate the fuel for the aircraft, I'm pretty sure they contaminate the fuel for cars. If you want to talk about pollution and putting smart dust on ground level, why not contaminate combustion engines? Do you know what I mean? Just think. I'm not adding another layer to conspiracy behind this. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's a tricky one. It really is. North Korea, that's their own sort of country. They got their own thing going on there, to be honest with you. I just don't know. I just need some data. I know there's data about it, but like I said in my videos, not every single trail we see in the sky is weather modification. Know what I mean? Viruses we breathe in for whatever reason they want us to control us. To be honest with you, excuse me, hold on. Bloody sinuses. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if they're going to control us, they can do it by frequencies, or no, I love to do the 5G thing, but that's a whole new conspiracy theory behind that. But the hertz it brings out, the frequency hertz is the same hertz that was used in, like Nathan from the Quantum Show says. Go check out Nathan from the Quantum Show, guys. You must like and subscribe. Awesome show. MK Ultra style tactics. Yes, they use a lot of drugs, but they use also like frequencies and low end frequencies to project images into people's heads and stuff like that. So that's a whole new realm of mind control. Do you know what I mean? I think there's like technologies that's most probably moved on from there. Yeah, the graphite. That's an interesting one. Oh, no problem, brother. We've got support our fellow brethrens in our UFO community. But yeah, with graphite, I don't know. That was, they said it was in the COVID vaccination. They said it was in chemtrails. They said they said it's everywhere, to be honest with you. But a graphene is a conductor, isn't it? Should I talk about COVID vaccinations? Probably not. Probably not. If you put a magnet next to graphite, it will actually move it, basically. It almost kind of looks like, have you seen Venom? Like Venom, that sort of liquid sort of stuff, kind of looks like that. Okay, if you put it through a magnet, basically. So that in your bloodstream is going to have detrimental effects. And I think this is what you're seeing now. Yeah, I know. She pop up. Yeah, okay. Woo. No, me and my brain. Okay, yes. Put an exclamation mark on that one. So with mind control, there's many different things, technologies that has advanced over the years, and I think beaming frequencies sounds more easier to be done. Rick Clay, which I'm going to be talking about at the end of this month. I'm going to dedicate a whole episode to him. There's a part of the interview he brought up that the fact that there was this part in New York where people were walking down the street and they kept on hearing this voice in their heads. So like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the hell's going on here? And what actually they found out is that they had a little black box on top of this building, and basically it was shooting ultrasonics down into the ground. And when people walked in to the certain area, hello to the 49 people on Rumble. Nice to see you all in there, man. Nice to see you all. And yeah, welcome on in. So, and what happened when these people walked down the street? Could you keep hearing this voice in their head, like say it was saying something like, "What you see and is not real," something like that. And what it was, this little black box on top of this building was actually pushing down ultrasonics down to this specific spot, and it was beaming this frequency, and people can hear these voices in their head, literally voices in their head. So I think this is where we are at the moment, and it's just going back what. It was an advertisement for Paranormal State, 2008, I think, 2007, 8. That's how far back we're going. So I think the idea of controlling the population with graphite, I think we've got the frequencies to do that. Do you reckon our phones can do that? That's going to a whole new conspiracy behind it. Graphene is diamagnetic, so it is repelled by magnetic field. Ah, it repels it and not actually contracts it. Oh, that's interesting. Was Tesla German? No, he was ChatGPT. Where are you, ChatGPT? Was Tesla German? I don't think he was. No. Tesla was not German. No, you bloody idiot. Nikola Tesla. German. No, he was. No, it was the Austrian. All I know from here, he was born in the 10th of January, 1856. God bless him. And everything he's done for us. No, I don't think he's German, mate. Anyway, someone might actually put the correct answer into chat, please. Be much appreciated. Hey, Mark G, how's it going, man? Oh, we've got another one. Here we go. Stefan, hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? Nice to see you. Has anyone corrected me? Austrian. Was he Austrian? Okay. So, Serbina? It's no way at the end, Nick. I'm not saying anything. My dyslexia is making me look like a right idiot. Oh. God's sake, let's make that screen bigger. Right. Yeah, UFO Mania. Who put that in chat? Yeah, I would say a lot of what they put on this one here. Right, this is it. Yeah, so this orb was photographed on the 34th of May in Belfast before it took off. Straight up early afternoon, the person who witnessed it took these two pictures before it disappeared on the Skyyard trajectory. I hate to sound like a Mick West. It could be a balloon. Look, I know when you see an object like that, you're like, whoa, what the bloody hell is that? Look, if you're in that frame of mind, take a video of it, for Christ's sake. It's hard with these photographs, isn't it? It's like the one with the Manchester airport one. You know, the sort of the blue ball that's on the tarmac on the runway. So I don't look. UFO Mania does put out a lot of BS. I'm going to be honest with you. See more chemtrail stuff. Bloody flipping chemi. What's wrong with you? Oh, it's been a long time. Oh yeah, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I don't think I've seen you in chat before. Probably before with Ollie and all that. But yeah, welcome on in, man. Stefan, nice to see you, brother. Nice, or sister. I think you're a guy, aren't you? But yeah, welcome on in. Nice to see you. Right, Twitter. So Stephen Greenstreet, Arrow, the Pentagon's UFO Investigation Office, which is the All Domain Anomaly Revolution Office, has released a new military UFO video, which has turned out just to be a balloon again. There we go. Recorded in 2024 in the Middle East. Let's bring this up. All right. They've blanked out all of the information on the sides here. So let me get this straight. So this was put forward. So Arrow, the Pentagon's UFO Investigation Office, has released a new military UFO, which just turns out to be a balloon. So why would they release it if it knowing that it'd be a balloon? Is this just the assumption of what Greenstreet is? Have they proven this if this is a balloon? More information below. Oh, I should have bloody read that before. I'm told by Arrow staffers that some military reports of UFOs come from board Reaper drone pilots looking around as they fly back from a mission. They sometimes confuse balloons and trash for UFOs. Look, we got any like hard evidence for this? I'm looking at this now. Hold on. Why would they release it knowing it's something fake? Why not release something that's actually decent instead of releasing fake gay shit? Do you know what I mean? Do you know, I'm kind of get sick of this stuff now. Give us something that isn't fake. Did you guys see it? Oh yeah, there it is. Dumbass. Look, I hate to be a skeptic or come across as a skeptic. It might be a balloon. We don't know. We don't know. It's something that you'll probably see out of Mexico, like these strange stuff. But I'm going to be honest. Look how fast it is. But this is taken obviously by a helicopter, I presume. And this object looks like it will be traveling faster than it is. And I have seen a Chinese lantern with a police helicopter chasing after it. And this Chinese lantern is hauling ass. And you can clearly see it's a Chinese lantern. And you think, well, they don't really go that quick, really. But it was the perspective of the trajectory of the object itself. Give the perspective that it was actually traveling fast, then it actually ain't. So, but who knows? Who knows, guys? I don't know. Test was more. Okay. I just read that in my brain, mate. I'm going to read this one in my brain. I'm not going to read this out loud. Okay, mate. Right. I believe there's a museum in Surabin, isn't it? Whatever it's called. I think there's a museum dedicated to him, I believe. Right. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Fake and gay. Yeah, I would agree. Right. Let's have a look. What else we got? More fake and gay shit. I don't know what the hell that is. It's just planes flying. What's that?
Yeah, they did a great job with the projection. It's a nice one.
Wow, it's such a nice day out.
Yeah, they did a great job with the projection. It's a nice one. They had clouds too.
Oh, look at that cute bird. Did you see they just renovated that building?
Yeah, I wonder what it was like before the mud flood.
Don't drink that!
I didn't see that coming. I didn't watch the video.
Any sexual. Oh, hey, babe, it's you, tunnel.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Look, coming from a conspiracy theory background, look. Oh, cheers, man. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate all the support. Look, I've had my awakening stage. Been through it twice. Okay. Like the reawakening stage that happened during the pandemic. I've been to a lot of conferences, a lot of alternative conferences talking about subjects like this. You will get people that are they're so far in the conspiracy realm, there is like no rational thought. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to name who this person is. Like, for instance, their screen would go black and turn back on after like 3 seconds. They'd be like, oh my God, that's like the Illuminati's after me. Like they put themselves as like a target on their head. Like they're part of, like, they're like a victim. And I've met so many people like that. And I saw this video, I saw like the first bit of it. And I was like, that kind of reminds me of like a lot of people that I see. Everything, being a conspiracy theorist is just, you are technically living in fear. You're going on X, you're going on Rumble and all that, and you're trying to find new information. Sure, the thirstful knowledge is very hungerful, if that's even a word. You know, I understand the drive for research, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the truth. And I've even fallen out with people that are a bit like these type of guys. You know, birds are fake, space is fake and gay, the Earth's flat. weather's controlled 24/7. The Illuminati is after me. You know, my phone is now controlling my mind and all that. 5G and all that. Do you understand that level of like conspiracy theory? And sometimes now I'm the age of 35, the tender age of 35. Man, just take a fucking step back. I hate to say, but go out, touch grass. You know, go out, laugh, have friends. You know, there's one thing I can't stand now, and I used to say this so much. Those normie people, normies. I know normies people. I train with them every bloody day. You know, with my cardio and boot camp and stuff like that. These people have been vaccinated so many flipping times, but they are the most loveliest people. And I think our community, the alternative, I'm not blaming you guys and people in chat, but I just find that I don't associate myself with those people. It's like, oh, come on, they're not all like that. They're not all bad. Yeah, you get your real far left people. They would consider us as far right. You know, I just do research, you know, and I just put it out there. You know, we've got all our own opinions. We're all adults, you know, but I just think now that the day and age where you've just got to take a step back. And that's one thing I've learned recently, especially in the past months, is like not everything is a flipping conspiracy. Like I said, the awakening stage, it's a lot of people has gone through it. And I've talked about this. Gone from CNN brain, BBC brain, and then suddenly you are 360 flipped. That's it. You're gone, baby. That's it. You're now in that alternative movement, and you're getting your information from other people, sort of regurgitating other information, not necessarily saying it is the truth. This is it. I'm so skeptical what information I'm coming across. I tell you what, a lot of people are paranoid. I tell you what, Rebecca, what's really interesting. And I think this is where I sort of, I still look at conspiracies, but I'm more of a 50-50 type of person. Hence my chemtrail videos I put out. I look at 50-50, okay? And then I make my own conclusion at the end of the day. I think people now have... hold on, make sure that's everything. Yeah, no more chemtrail stuff. Forget about that. Okay. I think people now have gone through what I would say is more like, hold on. What am I doing? I want to be put on full screen. Oh, I'm doing. There you go. All right. For me, I've been fear-mongered to the point where it's like fear fatigue. There's a YouTuber called Aspen Gold. Have you heard of him? He's got millions of views on YouTube. And he put out a video. Hang on, I'll just try and find it. I might be able to find it on there. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Is it Aspen Gold? Is that it? No, it's not. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to find it. It's a really popular YouTuber that he's got long hair. He talks about political stuff and stuff like that. It can be quite on the nose. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Asmon. Yeah, Asmon. Oh, I'll bring it up here. I'm not going to play any of his videos, but I'm just going to show you. He puts out pretty good stuff, I have to admit. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, this is it here. All right, let's bring this up. So yeah, this is it. He's got 3.7 million subscribers, and he brought out a video about the mainstream media. He talks about like the lefties losing it and stuff like that. Yeah, this is it on this video here. And he was saying why people are falling off mainstream media. People don't believe in mainstream media anymore because it bring out a load of shit. It's crap. It's full of woke stuff. I think now people have come to the point where since COVID, they notice the lies that are coming in. Not only just the lies, guys, it's the fear. It's constant fear mongering. Look, I don't watch the BBC. I don't watch ITV. I don't watch any of that. The only time I watch that is when I'm at my nan's place. And I tell you what, the fear mongering they put forward. I'm at fear mongering fatigued. I'm like, oh, World War III is going to happen. Oh, nuclear bombs going to happen. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, well, sure, whatever. You know, I'm at that stage now. I'm so bored of it. And I think that the point of what the mainstream media is doing is that they want the people to be in fear so they can go back to the mainstream media to find out what the conclusion is. And that's what Asmongold talked about in that video that he uploaded, Lefties Losing It, is that I think that's a really good, valid point. You put the fear out, but you want to know the solution, the consequences to this problem. So you go back to the mainstream media again. That kind of makes sense. So people are just living on a fear-to-fear basis. And it's the same for our community as well. Sometimes you just got to break away and just get out in a way that take a step back from TV, even like for Netflix. I don't have BBC or anything like that. I just have like streaming channels and stuff. But I noticed that with our community as well, our tribe, and yes, the aggressivity. Look, I could put my hand up, and I say I can act like that sometimes, but I think it's more frustration than anything. Just like, why can't people just see through this? Why is just a typical example? I hate to bring up flipping chemtrails again, but there's a really bad community. It is so flipping toxic. I'm just going to bring it up really quickly. Okay, it's to do with flipping chemtrails. All right, it's this page here. This is the biggest cesspool I've ever seen. This is a bunch of people that are there. Nick, chill, relax. These are people that basically don't really know what's going on with the skies and everything. But if you ask a simple question, like for instance, you put a photograph of a trail in the sky in the 1960s, or I'm trying to find the post here. A pilot came forward, and he sounds really genuine, like a really nice guy. He says, "Look, listen, guys, you know, these trails can persist in the sky. I've been a pilot all my life. You can look through my page or my Facebook page. You can see the guy got absolutely torn apart by these 20,000 people who doesn't know how a cloud is formed, don't know the basics of meteorology, telling this pilot that he is full of shit. He has been a pilot for 40 years. And I went through his page. I'm trying to find it here. And you can see he's been a pilot for a long period of time. I think that might have been there. Yeah. Or one of them might have been. And he just got absolutely flipping slated. And he was just literally asking questions like, could you give me some information? Like, where should I look? And you get some twat waffle going, oh, you got the internet. Do your own research, idiot. Yeah. It's like, what's the matter with you, you bloody retard? Like, it's just like, come on. You're supposed to be a community, supposed to help spread information. And I tell you what now, anything that these idiots put out is not real information. It's not. They've just been bombarded in the south coast. Where's the chemtrails in this? Nick, back off from chemtrails, for Christ's sake. Just get off it. But the point is that the community is in absolute tatters. And I've seen that community, the chemtrail community, change so much over the years. You know, since 2008, been part of this community, and it's changed a lot. Has it been done on purpose? Has it been done like as a psyop to push people in different directions? I don't know, man. But all I'm saying is just sometimes just take a step back, just really take a step back and realize, look, not everything is more or less like a conspiracy. Do you know what I mean? Divide and conquer it. Yes, the oldest trick in the book, Rory. Is the oldest trick in the book. But our community, the alternative movement, the conspiracy movement, it's take it with a pinch of salt. I remember a friend of mine who I fell out with. She says, you know, Nick, choose your tribe. And I'm going, no, I do me. I'm going to do me. I'm on my own on this one. Do you know what I mean? Look, going to these conferences is great. Actually, me and the missus, we're going to one. Actually, I've now forced her to go on a bloody crop circle tour with me in January. And no, July, I think middle July. So that's coming up at some point. So I'm going to interview some of these people, and they are batshit crazy. Just leave them to it. Leave them to it. If they don't affect my life, they don't affect my life. I just, we're all adults. If you want to live in a state of fear, that's absolutely fine. Like on a Sunday, do you know what me and the missus is going to do? We're going to go off. We're going to go to a farm shop. We get our amazing cooked breakfast, proper like English breakfast, and then we're going to go off and go into the woodland. That sounds like really creepy when I said that. We live next to like a nature reserve that is supported by the National Trust, for Christ's sake. And it sounds really awful what I just said then. But we go out into nature with a nice day, and it's nice and quiet. Again, that sounds really creepy when I said that. but it's enjoying our time. We have no phones, no internet, and it's just me and the missus. And we can spend a whole Sunday not looking at our phones. And just like me and her and enjoy nature. And I tell you what a difference. And it is a nice plan, Rebecca. I tell you what, I live like in the country. I'm just outside Bristol. I'm not necessarily saying where I live, but I've got the pleasure to really go out into the. I live next to a woodland, a really, really, really nice one. It's full of mushrooms that grow. There's actually cows as well. You can go and hug the cows. It's quite nice. So I've got that luxury. It's like literally just on my doorstep, and I do appreciate just sort of taking a step back and feed some ducks. That's what me and the missus did. I thought, do you know what? There's a lovely lake near us, and it's hidden away somewhere. And we went there, and there's all these little ducklings and all that. And it was just like, it was a beautiful day. It was like 23 degrees. It was silent, and it was absolutely. And I tell you what, it just take a step back. And we need to recharge our batteries. Do you know what I mean, Matt? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's nothing wrong going to the woods. It's nice and peaceful. It's really nice. I've got a camper van, Nick. I built a few for my mates. Freedom is amazing. Amazing park anywhere, awesome source. Yeah, I'm going off camping for one day with my boot camp people. They are normie people. They call me the sci-fi kid. Alan, my boot camp teacher, is like, you talking about fucking aliens again on your channel? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we're going out camping. It's somewhere in Wales. Is it Y Pens? Ever heard of that, guys? Wise Pens or something like that? Or Fry's Pens or something like that. It's a big I won't say it's a mountain, but it's in Wales. It's this beautiful place you can climb up, and something like that. I don't know. Yes, they have cows in the forest, brown cows that eat all the vegetation. It's strange. You go in there, you get dogs running around everywhere, and you see there's like 5 cows. Yeah, it's strange, but no, I live in a really nice area, I have to admit. A lot of rare. A lot of raw here. The ride out when I'm not working. Oh, that's nice. Nice to get out and then stuck in all day. Yeah, to be honest with you, get a bike. I love riding my bike. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of a kid. Absolutely adore it. It's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest with you. Just go out on an adventure, and you find like these like strange places. I don't think I've got a photograph of that one. I managed to find like this little hidden forest. No, I don't have a photograph with me. And it was all because I was just taking my bike for a ride. It was awesome. Yeah, it was a good time. Good time. Right, have I got anything else? Right, I tell you what. One more thing, just to finish off the day. Oh, you ride a motorbike? Oh, fair enough, Rebecca. Oh, all dressed in leather. That probably sounded a bit rude, didn't it? Are you like a biker chick? What I'm trying to say, or is it just one of those little scooters like the takeaway people ride? I don't know what they're called. No offense, Rebecca. No, I don't mean to be offensive or anything like that. But I do have a friend named Millie. She's a heavy metal vocalist in like death metal band. I went to music college with her, full of dreads and all that, and she's got like a proper Harley Davidson's bike. And she's always dressing in leather. That just reminds me of like people that ride motorbikes. Right, let's bring up some. I've got some wicked photographs, ghost photographs. I'm just going to bring up really, really quickly. before we end the show. Oh, you're in North Wales. Pretty cool here. Oh, yeah. Oh, the scenery is lovely. Last time I went to Wales was what's it called? Wye Valley, Avon Valley. Was that it? It's the old church that was knocked down by Henry VIII. I bet I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's going to bug me now. But no, honestly, Wales, a lovely place, full of castles, which is quite nice. Nice there. Not just me, normal bike. I ride a sports bike. Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, just be careful, Rebecca. I suppose any sort of vehicle is bad, isn't it? So right, let's go on with this. So this are some photographs I've taken, screenshots of, not myself, but yeah. I'm not going to read this, but as you can see, there's an apparition right here, which seems to be like a misty figure. Not too sure what this could be. Again, this was taken in a specific spot, so I'm pretty sure this is definitely not a fake. Okay, sorry, I burped in the microphone. Do apologize. Next up, yeah, this is a weird one. Look, check this out. Burped again. Sorry. This photo was taken. I took this photo of dolls under the streets in Edinburgh. Turns and ghosts turn. Oh fucking hell, whatever. Oh, the dolls. Yeah, yeah. Right. Check this out. Look, there's dolls there, and you got this apparition of a kid. Isn't that creepy? Look, you can really see a face into that one. I've been riding the seats in the 90s. Oh, right. And I also drive a car too. I've got to be very careful now. Yeah, mate, in Bristol, fucking hell. We drive like, I don't. I've never speeded in my life. And but you drive like maniacs in Bristol. It's crazy. It's a bit like London. So yeah, just be careful if you do come around our area, the southwest, full of carbine harvesters around there. But yeah, this ghost is pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool. We can make a proper detail with a face in that one. Like that. It's not like it's going to haunt my dreams. Right, moving on. This one, not too sure. The owner of this picture said, "This was my cousin's daughter who lived in South America. She sent me this to see if anyone could explain what is going on around her. I see several things within the picture. What is your view on this?" Look. Check this out. What's weird, it looks like you got a foot. This area here could say it's the decoloration of the wall. I sound like a Mick Wester at the moment. Nevertheless, it's quite a good one. It looks like a motion blur to some degree, but oh look, you got like a hand here. Can you see that? You see a foot, a hand here wrapping around a tit. Right, first of all, if that is a ghost, you're perving, right? You got the hand on the tit. Look. Hand tit. Yeah, but nevertheless, interesting photograph. Right, moving on. An explanation. Any explanations on this picture taken of me in the mid-90s? Oh, what a decade. No flash was on and no mirrors in the room. House was suspected to be haunted by a crying baby. Now, this comes up. I do see a lot of this. Okay, someone put this as an explanation. A human hair. The camera in the 90s often meant that the photographer held the camera to their eyes, which is true, close enough to the hairline that these errors in photography were common. The unaware would have referred to this as a rod. Ah, right, yeah, it's going back. Yeah, I guess so. Human hair? What do you reckon? Anyway. This is a creepy one. Look at this. Imagine seeing that in your bloody nightmares. Look at that. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's real. I've got an explanation for that one. Oh, here we are. My mum's grandpap's old house stairs. This photo was taken by my uncle in my grand and gram's old house. My little cousin, whilst very young, kept coming to the bottom of the stairs and seems very interested, and she was engaging a lot. So my uncle took a picture, blah, blah, and this was what came out. No edits or anything. Real original photograph. I'm going to be honest with you. This is pretty damn good. Holding on handrails as well. Yes. Look. A motion blur, if that was a real person. Yes, you would get the see-through look. However, it's quite... Let me zoom in a bit more. It's quite detailed, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. It's like holding on to the handrail there, isn't it? Look at that. I just don't understand how that can be faked. Do you know what I mean? It is fascinating, mate. It's a good picture, I have to admit. Hold on. My gran did lose a child whilst living in this house over many years, and was wondering of you think this may be said child. Yeah, saying here that a child was lost in miscarriage, so I'm a bit confused. Can spirit age? It's a good point, actually. Look, this spirit here could have been back in the 17th century, 16th, 18th. You don't know this until you do a seance or something like that, Ouija board. Nevertheless, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put that. Oh yes, as the hairline. Yeah, most likely, mate. Most likely. I'm gonna not drawing that out, to be honest with you. With the hair trail. But this photograph here, I think it's pretty genuine. I'm going to be honest with you. Pretty good one. Yeah, this one was taken. Guy's kind of ugly. This picture right here kind of looks like an apparition of a face. Anyway, right, gonna move away from that. Right, here's another one. Ghost in the Hall at Hawk Throne Hotel, one of America's most haunted hotels. Apparently, this was caught on a static camera. Ectoplasm, something like that. It's pretty good, isn't it? I don't know. I want to get back to ghost hunting again. At some point. Yeah, that's it. So that is all my ghost photos. And believe it or not, that is my white bird of paradise. And this is it now. So in the span of 3 years, it went from that to that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, no more chemtrails, Nick. No more chemtrails. Get out of here. Right, there we go. Okay, that's it. That's it. Me done for today. Yeah, that's it. That is pretty much it. I'm just going to go through everything else. If I missed anything. Nope. For that. Oh, I tell you what, one thing, what's been scrubbed off the internet, which I have a picture of, it goes back to German flying saucers, and it's this. This photograph you will not find anywhere on the internet. I've put this through search engine after search engine, and the website is gone where I've got this from. And this is the full photograph of the German flying disc, of the real kind. Yeah, so there it is. History in the making. You actually have apparently the full photograph, because the real photograph is actually like half of it it's like that, and then the second photograph is with the person at the end. But this is the full photograph in one go. So what you are seeing here is the full thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's it. That is it for today's show. I'm just checking. Yeah, I think that's it. Right, that's it. I'm done. I thought it was going to go an hour and a half and gone nearly 3 hours. So yes, thanks to everyone in chat. I'm going to say my goodbyes right now and say goodbyes to the people in chat as well. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope you learned something today in terms of chemtrails, Vladimir Terziski. Again, go check him out if you want to. There's loads of videos online. There's a 7-hour presentation on Vladimir's work. Thank you, Nathan, brother. And I must get in contact. I tell you what, if you want, that it's my email address, alienadpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to go, even find me on Twitter as well. I'm on Twitter as well on that one. So yeah, it'd be good to have a conversation with you, Nathan. It'd be good. And guys, please check out Nathan from the Quantum Show, because just like Alien Addict and my own show, Cosmic Twilight, we are horrendously shadow banned. In fact, Nathan, none of your stuff comes up, and I know I'm subscribed to your channel, Nathan Quantum Show. Yeah, I got it here, and none of your notifications come up. Absolute crap. It's yeah. So please like and subscribe and support Nathan from the Quantum Show. We need people like Nathan and everyone and like Amy and stuff like that, you know, because not necessarily we're going to get the truth, but it's good to get our opinions about what's going on in ufology and where the world is at the moment as well, you know. So yeah, we live in crazy times, man. Crazy time. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Much appreciated, darling. Much appreciated. I used to write silly Vril novels. Oh, really? All right. Vril, I'll tell you what. I want to talk about Vril at some point. I'm going to write that down on notes so I can plan this up for the next show. So next show, guess what? It's going to be Bill Cooper. So today's show was actually for Roger Saxon. I think he hasn't been in chat. You catch up anyway, but that was for him because he was always mentioned about Vladimir Terziski. In fact, that's how you found my channel, The Cosmic Twilight, was all to do with Vlad himself. So yes, next week will be Bill Cooper, and I've got loads of presentations to show on that sort of stuff. Real life force, Ki or Prana or Chi. Was that cheese? I think Chinese one. Yes, which means the life force, the energy, which is yeah. What's another word for it? Yeah, life force, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's right. I think Bill Cooper contradicts himself. Ooh, rotary. Should I do it next week? To be honest with you, I have not read his book, The Pale of Horse or something. You know, his famous book. I haven't read it. Maybe I should read his book first before I do an episode on him, or I could just do like a follow-up. Yeah, I know he had a bit of stigma between Alex Jones and himself, but contradicts. He's a very hardcore Christian, wasn't he? If I remember rightly. Besides evidence fringe. All right, he's going to go through. Yes, Pale Horse. That was it. Pale Horse. In fact, I'll tell you what. eBay. Bill Cooper, Pale. Oh, hold on. Pale Horse book. Let's see how much it costs. Oh, bloody hell. £106. Ooh, actually. Behold a Pale Horse. Unrevised. 1991. Right. I might. £87. Do you know what? It's actually not too bad of a price. And they all come from the United States, so you are looking about probably about £20, £30 postage. I'll tell you what. Because you know me, I like to do like proper research into a subject which requires me to obviously read books. So we'll still do a episode on Bill Cooper. I'll bring up a lot of presentations he's done on YouTube. But if you're there next week, Rotary, bring up the contradictions. I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts on that one, mate. Bill Cooper, I haven't really done a lot of research onto him. I know he's done a lot of like stuff with like the New World Order at the time. He predicted 9/11, amongst other things as well. So yeah, that'd be an interesting one for that one. But yeah, please bring up any information, mate. Be much appreciated. In fact, Rotary, excuse me. Excuse me. Tag me on Twitter or X. Be much appreciated. Any links on that, but I'm obviously doing my own research into it. So yeah. Right, I think that's it. Right, I'm going to run through chat one more time, and we're going to say goodbyes. Rebecca, Rotary, we'll try Nick. If it's easy, I'm in. If I can't find it, then sorry, mate. Honestly, this is don't have to do anything, brother. I do my own research here, but if you find something, so if you just come across something, just send it to me. Not asking you to do the homework for me, but the contradiction stuff would be interested to see what will actually come occur with that. So yeah, say goodbyes now, chat. It's so I've got to end it now because I want to go. I had bed. I get bed. I said I only do an hour and a half, and I end up doing nearly 3 hours. Oh, brilliant. So yes, let's go for chat one more time. Say goodbyes, everyone. So yeah, Nathan from the Quantum Show, Sheep Pop, Rotary Matrix, John Strokes, and Woodward, Rebecca, Nathan for the Quantum Show, Science Evidence Fringe, Benjamin, if you're still here, and I think that's everyone. Right, that's it. I am out of here. Bad American accent, terrible. Never do that again. So yes, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Be much appreciated. And I'll see you next week for another episode on UFOs and anything spooky and stuff like that. Anything like mystery related. I want to sort of delve into like mysteries and stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool at some point. So yeah, I shall see you all next week. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Friday on Alien Addict. All right. So just remember, until next time, they're watching you, watching us, watching them. See you next Friday. Take care. Oh man, this is just for you, jamming music, man. Yeah, sorry if you turn up late. Don't worry, man. Just watch the show and repeat. But yeah, nice for you to turn up, man. Jamming music, man. Yeah, you've been commenting a lot recently. But yeah, this is, if you want to be part of my UFO fan club, you must look like this. Okay, you must have glasses, could be a redhead, and you have to be sexy and a filthy personality. And yeah, contact me on alienaddictpodcast@gmail.com. No dick pics, for Christ's sake. Right, I'll see you next Friday. Thanks to everyone in chat. You're beautiful people. Love you very much.